All right, all right, all right. What's up, folks? Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about this topic. This one here being one of integration. Want to speak about integration. In my opinions, that vary from a few, because I hear people spew out this narrative about the impacts of integration and how it set black folks back. And to me, I think that's one of the biggest excuses that I hear made from people from the community in which I exist in, the community I grew up in, amongst people who I am related to. Because we are brothers and sisters, but a lot of people love to create the excuses that shift blame away from where blame, really needs to be directed. The blame for the situations branch off to many different areas and shit, but integration ain't one of them. Integration ain't the fucking blame of shit. I think younger generations are the blame for that shit. But if you can blame younger generations, and this is generations coming out of the 60s, younger generations from the 60s and 70s who are to blame for that. But if you can blame younger generations, guess who else you have to blame? Those who are in charge of supervising them, raising them, protecting them, providing for them, and that being elder elder generations as well. You just can't solely blame that shit on younger groups and shit. The integration, in my opinion, this is just based on my opinion, is not the issue within our community. I think there's a reason behind black folks moving into certain areas, going into these other communities, moving outside of impoverished areas, and that being mainly being that they were moving up out of the South, as the South didn't provide many opportunities, or South left people kind of in a stagnant condition, and that's and that's the reason for the cause of moving them up out of there. Is that there were no opportunities growing up in the South, and a lot of people love to talk about, well, we shop together and we this and that. Yeah, shop where? Grocery stores, doing all this agricultural shit as the world is shifting towards technological revolutions. It's no different than breaking out of the slave eras as the world is starting to industrialize and moving forward in that direction. So you got to find opportunities. You have to find what best position the future, and that's what people found. But now you start having this thing with, especially with the condition of black folks. And this is why I bring up the government targeting of black folks and the interference. Throughout the centuries of the United States, black people have always faced, a sort of revolution against this damn system. And that being a system controlled politically by suit wearing white males, fighting against people who instituted a fucking a racist system. And so that leads to where you get where black folks who don't fully want to participate into the American system, especially younger generations who watch how their parents had to deal with shit as their parents continue to move on. But guess what? Their parents still kept their heads high, continue to forge ahead, worked, own homes, move forward with life, didn't do too much of worrying about what whites had to say about them. But younger generations weren't going to tolerate that shit. Younger generations weren't going to tolerate that, and they began to move away from that shit. You start dealing with hustler, the hustler underworld that comes up out of these communities in which we move into as new communities that we have arrived into. And I'll drop the link on the subject because I want to see those who disagree with it, because I love debunking that shit. But what has affected us more than an integration of a system ain't been about moving into integrating. Our thing ain't about, because people bring this integration shit about the communities we live in. The communities in which we live in that they're called black communities were white communities. So I don't know where black people get that shit. The degenerate behavior amongst black people is what has led to that shit. And then as time moves forward, along with, dealing with the issues, not overstanding about the attacks placed upon us. And this is the other thing: when people learn about COINTELPRO, people continue to use that as an excuse when they weren't even affected by that shit. But what has affected a lot of people is the degenerate behavior, prison type behavior. behavior and accepting into cultures that lead to incarceration and shit, and that being gang like activity and shit. As we look at the streets don't provide anything for youth. The streets don't provide pathways to success. You look at young kids, and even as you look at these hood vlogs, you look at the condition, and these hood vlogs are present day shit, but these hood vlogs haven't changed much if you shifted the time period 40 years back. You matter of fact, hell, you can go back to the documentary that they have Turtle in them in, which is almost 40 years ago. And you look at the behavior of them. And this is behavior where we grew up around these people. I don't shit on gang people because I think gangs serve a purpose dealing with societal issues, especially racially charged societal issues and the need for protection. But when you start dealing with the degeneracy within the groups and shit, cults, whatever the fuck you call them, you deal to where now where do you see these kids going? You don't see these kids wanting to enter into a work society. You start to replace them with other groups. Like, so you can't run away from that bullshit and hiding behind that integration is the problem when it fucking ain't. Integration has brought us to fucking Los Angeles, has brought us to Chicago, has brought us to fucking the St. Louis's, the fucking everywhere else that we go, we leave up out of the South. And it's led us to opportunities. Even when you look at the Atlanta situation, Atlanta started to become one of the more modern fucking havens for black success. And then look at what started to fuck with Atlanta. A bunch of degenerate shit, a bunch of homosexuality bullshit, a bunch of street related shit, a bunch of drug related shit. The degenerate shit will always destroy the pathway to success when future is lying for motherfuckers. Because regardless, even white folks attempting that shit, white folks cannot stand to defeat black folks like that at all. We have withstood the test of time for fucking centuries. This ain't no damn year shit of our existence. We ain't no new arrivals to this motherfucking nation. We have been here for multiple centuries in this nation and have always defeated the attempts of sucker ass Trump looking bitches. But the degenerate shit is what always will defeat any fucking group, even amongst whites, even amongst white groups, and in their fucking pathway to fucking, trailblazing ahead. The degenerate shit amongst them always holds them back. Degenerate shit cannot be accepted, and that's been the most damaging shit to the fucking black community. You just look at the behavior. It ain't nothing. Like, you don't get no fucking shit amongst any of the gangs you look out here and finding a pathway to success. Because I was even looking at this shit. What really brought me to this shit is I'm looking at, it was something brought up with Mike Epps starting a boxing gym out there in wherever, Indiana or wherever he's from and shit. And I was looking at this shit like even within Los Angeles. How everybody talks about the fade and all this shit. And I'd be looking like, why we can't have gyms out there? And I'd be like, I was looking like I would love to start a gym out there in Los Angeles for boxing because there's so much talent out there. But then I'm like, the shit would never fucking work because I can't be like, I'm gonna put one in the community in which I grew up in, and I want kids from all over LA to participate in it. But guess what? Will fucking will fucking hamper the fucking success of that type of business. And it wouldn't be a business of looking to profit and get rich off of. It will look to create opportunities for young people to find a pathway into some other shit rather than beating themselves up, damaging themselves, ruining themselves, and creating other violent situations. Me growing up as a kid in LA in the hundreds and wanting to have a gym in the hundreds, do people within the area stop kids from over on the other side of Normandy from wanting to come to this gym? Kids from on the other side of fucking Vermont from coming into this gym? Kids on the other side of Crenshaw from coming to the gym? That degenerate shit would stop that shit. Or I want to put a gym over there near Jesse Owens or some shit. Does the community over there not allow kids from other areas in the community? And that is exactly what will fucking happen. It is simple and plain as that. Because I remember it was a time period where people were talking about when it was a kids in Inglewood. Inglewood was starting to have to use Southwest College gym. And I remember it was cats, reputable cats in the neighborhood speaking about like them niggas in Inglewood playing over there. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Why would y'all interfere with that shit. I'm like, these just kids out here wanting to play football. They school, having something going on. I don't know if there was rehab in Inglewood. It was either Inglewood or Dorsey. One of them Inglewood schools is over there playing at Southwest. And niggas, I don't know if my words influenced and speaking on it like that stopped any shit from happening. Like, motherfuckers should be able to utilize that. We're all within our same community. That degenerate shit does not allow any success in our communities, any pathway forward for black folks. And even when I post videos, and I post a lot of violent shit on Instagram, and I love to see the way in which people take to these videos. And a lot of times that shit go over people's head because people are so desensitized that they're entertained by degenerate, ignorant shit. Oh, the nigga done popped this nigga. Oh, look, them niggas dead. And I post that shit. Everything I post is for deliberate reasonings. Either I'm being comical about that shit or I'm trying to see how people look through shit. And I love to hear how people cry and complain if it's too violent. No, that ain't the intentions, and nor am I going to erase it. I want to see how people process that shit because people love that shit. But I want to see how people process because that ain't the reason why I posted. It's the post on how people love the degenerate shit. More intelligent people will look through that shit and see a growing problem. Integration has never been the issue amongst black folks. Degenerate shit has. It's one thing to be revolutionary and fighting against causes put out here by little punk ass backwood bigoted motherfuckers, but understanding how to maneuver through that shit and not to remove yourself to set yourself back. Like, we have been set back by degenerate shit. Even degenerate people, even as black people begin to, CJ says, G. Perico owns the Broadway boxing gym, says, but they don't utilize it. They don't. And G. Perico on in that shit, he can't utilize it because he over in the Broadways. Is that just going to be his neighbor? And his intentions wasn't to make this no hood ass gym. And that's the same thing of even trying to open businesses in the community you may live in. Money is fucking green. Money ain't fucking blue or red or yo hood, but motherfuckers in this community will fucking interfere with the success in the fucking area you have. And that's why, like, people cry, and then it's always black people crying when things don't work out successfully for them and other groups move in here and start taking over that shit. And that shit is the most, that shit is the most bugged out shit. Because I'll hear people saying, oh, when integration start, black people stop spending with each other. And that is not true. That is far from true. I think as younger generations come about and beginning to going into where they start having a little spending power, their money, they refuse to spend it with one another. Older generation, like I was saying, because even when I was talking to my brother, when he called in, he was reflecting, because like I said, my brother incarcerated for a lot of years of his fucking life through degenerate behavior and the normalization of degenerate fucking behavior that didn't come up out of our house, but it was picked up out of the community. But we was reflecting on shit about the community. We was talking about, like, where now today you go into LA, cutting grass and all that other shit is a thing that people associate with Mexicans doing it. It being an immigrant thing. That was a black thing. Our lawnmower service was from a black person. The ice cream truck was from black folks. Black people look down upon work. Some younger generations of people refuse to want to go to work because we have these personas that we are rich and work is beneath us and all this other shit. Like, people need to get the fuck out of here with this dumb talking integration. You don't know any history in the last 50 and 60 years about black people, but because you hear one person fashion integration is a problem and making it the popular excuse doesn't make that shit true. Integration is not the issue. Let me go through these comments. I'll put down the link. We'll go for about an hour because I want to get into the All-Star game. I'm going to skip any comments that ain't dealing with this topic because I ain't shifting away. I can get two fucks about the boxing event for this shit. And then Opino D says, salute, but salute to WMS 702. Picasso in the building, salute. Matt F says it was drugs that killed our community. The drugs killed the community. The gang shit. Because even before the flood of drugs, our community started being killed off with the expansion of the gang shit. But not even with the gang shit. With our younger generations refusing to go into the work fields. And it's understood why younger generations will do that shit, because you cannot ignore what was taking place within America. And especially going on to jobs to where you're being fucking discriminated against by supervisors, having to work with other people you're employed with without wanting to beat the shit out of them and stuff like that. So that could be understood. And some younger cats, like, I'm not dealing with what my parents deal with. But a lot of these parents came out here and worked, because that's the other thing that people forget. A lot of your grandparents and all that shit who were the first homeowners within the families who went over into white communities, having to clean inside of white homes. They were the nannies of fucking white kids and wealthier backgrounds, not poor ass whites and middle class whites, but whites that are a little bit more well off. Watch their kids, clean their homes, and that began to be some shit that black people start to look down on, especially with the height of the Black Power movements, while the wars being taking place in the 70s, Vietnam to be exact. A lot of younger blacks are not fucking with that shit, and it's always the younger generation about the seeds that you plant. Because even today we hear the same crying ass complaint amongst the adults about younger generations and shit. Every old motherfucker got every negative thing to say about younger generations. And then it even gets worse with amongst black folks, because every time you look up, inside a conversation with black folks is the fucking constant argument between how women should act, women crying about how dudes should act, and what is the role and all this other weird ass shit. That's why I say, man, I stay with the single shit. That way my mind stay clear, I stay happy. That's why I can joke. I'm happy. I don't deal with that depression shit. I ain't dealing with grand and none of that shit, because I be like, let me keep that shit away from me. I ain't looking for none of that shit. My focus is my kids. I already may deal a little bit of shit of dealing with the baby mama shit, but I don't deal, even with that shit, I don't deal with. You keep whatever bitterness you got over in your bitter ass square. Don't bring that shit around me. And then velocity cut, but that is the issue when you look inside of the world of our communities. But even white folks got their set of problems, because everything ain't all honky-dory with white folks. Like some black people be believing, like they live in utopia and shit. You just deal with what you see in the white dudes in politics and higher incomes who are fucking over the rest of this country, but their world's just fucked up. Velocity says, what up always? Racism with Reggie Owens. Salute, salute. Got to keep this racism going. Brandon Washington, the building. Salute, he says, Cook. Cloud with TJ says, baby boomers for sure. Says, I did research on the baby boomers. Says, man, that generation is crazy. And the baby boomers would be what? During the Vietnam era and shit. Because I think even when you look in them eras, they began to kind of rebel against a lot of shit. A lot of them, even amongst whites who really didn't want to go into work. That was during that free culture shit amongst the white society, is that hippie shit. And even them, amongst their youth, they didn't want to go into that shit. They seen the issues, and a lot of them were rebelling against the white system as well, who older whites have an issue with them, the hippies and all that other shit, because they see everything that's wrong with it. They challenge the status quo of the system and shit. And then Mark Summers says drug selling, says a drug use, says it matter if shit, both of them, shit. The fuck good use of, what is the use of a drug addict? Nothing. It ain't nothing. And then Abin LD says, yes, says I disagree. And then Axis says where were your parents folks from in the South? I think I hear from my side, from Arkansas and shit. I just know one in Arkansas and Kansas. I think that's where from my side, Arkansas and Kansas. And then Abin LD says black ownership was at an all-time high, says before integration. Ownership of what, bro? Like, this the shit that you like. I can't wait to drop the link, because that's bullshit. And I want you to keep that thought when I drop it. Don't talk about niggas owning general stores and little corner stores and this little operation, which is small operations, which didn't help the community. It may help a few small business owners, but what else did it help? It wasn't nothing. If that was the case, you wouldn't have this rapid expansion of blacks moving out of there during a industrialized revolution, huge economic revolution from World War II to all of that shit, expanding manufacturing across this country. You can't sit in the goddamn South and think you're going to get ahead with that shit. Like, y'all buying into shit y'all hear without proper study and knowing how to break this shit down. I think that shit is wrong. Like I said, hold off on the comments so I can get through the comments, and I'm going to drop the link. So that the black folks started occupying white businesses, is even when getting discriminated against. No, blacks expansion and the home ownership was going into the work field and thriving in that shit. We thrived in the manufacturing side of shit. Our folks who move and own shit. Grandparents were home owners. They were property owners, moving in this integrated fucking society. And he says, I agree with that. Says good. I think he's writing to CJ. And the CJ saying always right with Reggie Owens says no lies told. Yes indeed, CJ. And then ABLD says Hood vlogs didn't change shit. No, never say they change anything. The hood vlogs will showcase the degeneracy in behavior. I was looking at another dude, and I'm lost on the Compton. I was watching Compton Rick Rocky. He having an issue that when he was watching, because this for the first time, you never seen interviews from the DC Baby Draco was interviewing uh uh Mexican hoods that historically you never heard from. And these are whole hoods that have always, when other people tell the narrative about like how they don't like blacks and all that other shit. But when you look across LA and the gang culture and the degeneracy of it, all of it is they mirror each other. He had issue with hearing how you listen to these Mexican kids, and if you had your eyes closed, you think there's a bunch of black folks. Everybody dead, homie, and this and that. We live amongst each other. There's nothing positive about the culture. So they have issue with the way they talk is some of the most ignorant shit. And as much as people think they being positive and stepped away from gang shit, they still are fucking foot in, foot out with the ignorant shit. Nigga got an issue with how the kids speak because they sound black and all that shit. Like motherfuckers live amongst each other. Black kids who wear blue or red rags look the same, come from the same line, but will blow each other fucking head off. It ain't nothing positive about none of that shit. Even when niggas say, even niggas want to be like, everybody want to be black until it's uncool. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Or the other dumb shit you hear niggas say, we was outside and complain about the kids of the day. Being outside didn't make anything better for motherfuckers. Because that's why everything in the community is fucked up. Because everybody was outside. On school days, especially. Like, fuck out of here. Niggas is older that want to just shit on to what the younger kids should have a better shot at shit if it ain't for fucking dysfunctional pieces of shit ass adults. And the Picasso says it's those people with with a little more money than others that move towards businesses like a little puppy. Says because they have to hang with people, says, who want to grow their resources. Cars, house, schools. Picasso, I'm lost like a motherfucker on what the hell you were even trying to write. Velocity Cuss says Reaganomics champ. No, Reaganomics says a Reaganomics champ. That trickle down bullshit from Reagan. Now Reagan economics is just some old, wealth grabbing shit. This is all he just reciting what's always been the way of white politicians of what's the word I'm looking for, of unfair. I want to say unfair white politicians are fucking yuppie society white politicians who believe in the huge separation in economic classes and in that way of thinking is a racial split based on economics is what Reagan always has pushed. And then if you was a white who was against it, you viewed as what would be termed as a Igor lover. And then Abin LD says, I agree, says that degenerate behavior has played a major part on top of government interference. And then we bring Reagan in there. Reagan is one of the biggest interferers and setbackers of the black community. Nixon is one of these motherfuckers, and the rest of the presidents are behind him, except a few. Abin LD says, even you have white presidents who attempt to do more for a black community. You have an interference amongst white business leaders, white local politicians, fucking Senate politicians, and a lot of dumb motherfuckers don't pay attention. The other side of us is with the same groups who refuse to go into the work environment. Black people began to have this ignoring of the political systems. Black people became politically illiterate than a motherfucker. And then to this present day, we deal with a lot of illiterate black motherfuckers from the academic side to the political side of shit. Dumb as fuck, set the fuck back. And even behind new arriving immigrants. Like, we don't even know where the fuck we fucking from. And it ain't talking about no Africa shit or none of this old ass shit or whether we indigenous and all that other irrelevant ass shit. And then a lot of niggas love staying stuck in the fucking past. I guess it makes them happy. Niggas love being happy in shit they didn't exist in. It fucking guess that's why so many people smoke dope and shit. And then to get away from the current situations and shit. Abin LD says I agree so that degenerate behavior has played a part. Picasso says people in those societies says want to be safe and risk their kids being racially abused. Says to get higher education. Says a bougie man has to protect his family. Says he don't want to be confronted by gangs and all that. No, because even when you look at the bougie, like, because a lot of people look down on the bougie black person and make up comments like that. But the bougie black person got away from motherfuckers. And but guess what happened? That bougie black motherfuckers will grab people from out of the state he came from, being the South, and allow family to come up there. And sometimes the wrong family will come up there who have degenerate, low-level behaviors about them, move into where these places provide other opportunities and add no value to that shit. They bring this laziness shit. They bring this drunken ass shit. They bring this pedophilic shit. And then they fall into these fucking environments, these new conditions that motherfuckers have to where they starting to thrive, and then they get some motherfucker would set everything back from the fucking the family when they should have stayed where the fuck they were at. You get, and then that was the other thing with like a lot of the single mothers. But mother down there with a bunch of kids moving up north with all these other places with a bunch of kids to where it costs more to live there. These environments are very unforgiving. And then out here you got this woman, no dude. She fucking around with every man she think gonna fill the spot to help her raise these fucking kids that ain't his. And that motherfucker just want a quick nut and he gone. She got all these kids up in the city. The fuck out of here. Niggas be, man, come on. We gotta look at this shit from the unapologetic truth of shit. The South then provides shit. And then CJ says, G Perico says on the Broadway boxing gym says, but they don't utilize it because they can't. Because of the condition, the mindset of motherfuckers over there. And it'd be crazy. You'd be almost having to knock your own fucking homies off just to try to get shit going. You try to start some successful shit. But guess what be the other thing you have to do? Move that shit to somebody else's community where motherfuckers don't look like you. Because the motherfuckers that look like you become a problem. And then Apple says always people from our own hood says they try to do you like Big U? Look at Big U situation. You just watch these niggas when you look at the shit that they put on the internet. And that's that old self-hating internal competition with each other. That's why I be like, I don't compete with motherfuckers. I don't compete with motherfuckers. I'm happy when other people got shit. Don't compete with me. Don't be none of that shit. I ain't about to compete with you. I'm going to be happy when you got that shit because I think that is a problem amongst our people. People want to break off and branch off into the groups and it's you and fuck them other niggas type mentality. Like, fuck that shit. I think that's why I never liked that damn no limit shit. Fuck them other niggas because I never liked that shit. That shit was always a whole ass song. It beat and all that shit, but I never liked it. It was no real message in that shit. And then CJ says there's a couple of Mexican boxing gyms in Linwood though. The Mexicans got gyms all throughout California. All throughout California. Guess who represents California in boxing? The Mexicans. They got the gyms they train. If you get a black person that is in boxing from out of LA, they had a Mexican gym. That's just like, man, Brandon Adams. Look, hey CJ, this is what I was about to ask. I should have been asked because I was like, when I seen Brandon Adams, I'm like, I know this nigga from somewhere, but I think it might have been when we used to be in Linwood. Let me see, because I don't know how well you follow boxing and shit. Let me see if you know this fool, because I think this nigga used to be over there in Linwood and shit. Oh, let me show this fool. Let me see. I should have been asked you this shit. Because I swear I see this nigga over by your pops in them house. I know somewhere. I think I was always thinking it was Linwood. I see this nigga Brandon Adams. Let me see. Let me put this fool on here on the screen. Hold on. Let me see. CJ, do you recognize the dude right here? Because he was on I forget what show he's on, but I'm like, man, I know this nigga from somewhere, man. But I was thinking it was probably Linwood or somewhere. Let me see if you know Brandon Adams and shit. If you recognize the dude here. Wait, let me see. Where is he at fighting the Charlos? All right, so let me get back in the link here soon. And then let me see where we at. Where we at in the comments. Matt F in the building says, keep cooking. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Velocity Cuss says, always trying to compete with each other. It says, shaking my head. That's the issue with black folks. Is that competing shit? Is that not competing? And then wanting to get in on what other people are doing, like thinking that it's other people's jobs to put your motherfucking ass on. And it's not. Motherfuckers that hate when they see another motherfucker making money and then want to interfere with this motherfucker doing to talking about he got to put you on. Nah, get the fuck out of here. That ain't nobody's fucking job. It's your ass to get in fucking line, study the field, put in your fucking work. Because when a motherfucker wants you to put them on, they want their income to be with what you're fucking making. And then CJ says, yeah, he looks familiar. Yeah, see, I think I used to see Brandon Adams over there by y'all house and shit. But then they be thinking, but this other thing with the put on shit is that people be wanting you to put them on and them to be right where you at. And then always constantly in your pocket. That shit is some of the illest, sickest shit. And I always hear motherfuckers be wanting to complain about niggas. Oh, he ain't this, he ain't that. Then it's the other dumb shit they be saying, like niggas give a fuck. He ain't from the hood. He ain't from around. He can't get the fuck out of here. You kicking a motherfucker out from some shit they don't want to be around no more because you motherfuckers are in it. Like, get the fuck out of here. Niggas say some of the dumbest shit. And that's because they've been allowed to just grow up with degenerate behavior that is normalized and accepted. And it's crazy. In these communities, some of the poorest, most uneducated, miseducated motherfuckers have the most shit to say that nobody gives a fuck about because you motherfuckers are being left behind. Inside of a country, you pay no attention to what the fuck is going on. Integration ain't got shit to do with none of that. Because what is deemed as your fucking hood and whatever it is an integrated community. That a lot of you fools is too far gone and never asked any questions, never been taught anything to realize you weren't there at one point. And then Opin says, I now get your point, says on the subject. Absolutely. Yes, indeed, bro. Because a lot of people, because they just hear you be like, no, integration ain't the point in it. Because they've been hearing this shit maybe, what was it be, about the later 60s. Some people even they'll use quotes from Martin Luther King and they'll use quotes from Malcolm X. But Malcolm X didn't live long enough to see what was happening with integration. They didn't see the full potential of any of that shit before they were killed. And they didn't see the conditions of what black people will become, the expansions of Crips and the disciples and Bloods and all this other crazy shit. As young people moved towards those movements and said, fuck your jobs. And then Sylvester in the building saying, what up, bro? And then Picasso says, soak your bear claws in vinegar, says, and Epsom salt, says, so your mind won't be cloudy. What the hell do Picasso be writing? Axis says it was some poor blacks says that moved facts. That's a fucking fact. Says that moved up south says that ruined it for the middle upper black folks. Says who moved south says in the 1910s and 40s. And you know it's our movement, he made correction to moved up north. And you know it's the crazy thing, like I was looking at because it even goes back to condition and degenerate behavior. I was looking at some shit I'm reading in the Frederick Douglass book. And when he was looking at the condition of some of his relatives, when he started to try to bring them up, he was looking at the behavior in a lot of these people. He said, drop the link, says for those who did. Yeah, I'm going to drop the link, Brennan. But I want to get through the chat because that's always my thing to read the chat. And he was looking at the condition and the behavior of some of his relatives that were, down there, and the fact that they were not exposed to much, their behaviors, they were slow, behind on shit. They will never be able to pull themselves up. He says, I'm just interested. Okay, yeah. But even if you do agree, you can add your point. Because once I'm done cooking, y'all can cook however y'all cook. And then Mark Sumner says blacks had prosperous cities, says, but all black neighborhoods says weren't like that. Says as the prosperous areas became overpopulated, says there was more degenerate behavior. He says having lots of kids, says, and a lot of people moving there, and that was a problem. moving kids in, having way too many kids than you can take care of. Too many mouths to feed. You can't clothe them. These kids going in conditions of being fucked up, not having much. No kid wants to grow up in that shit to where you can barely have clothes. Your clothes get you teased by other kids. That shit has psychological effects on motherfuckers. And that began the problem. That began the problem where it becomes this divide between men and women and shit. Bitches going about doing shit their own fucking way. You can't tell them shit. It ain't so much a welfare doing that shit. It's dealing with you can't tell bitches shit. But then it goes back to where it ain't just about these women. It's about the treatment that dudes had because they didn't appreciate these women. And so it's both sides to that shit. But having way too many kids and moving to the city and it like, come on, that shit has set shit back. And then these kids reach a teenage level and they about just doing all type of shit, running the fucking muck. And then CJ just talking about Brendan Adams saying he looked familiar. Abin OD says, Mark, shut the fuck up. Says your people purged our prosperous towns. And he says out of jealousy. And then CJ says, and I just looked him up, says, and coincidentally, he has ties to Linwood. Yeah, that's what I was saying. When he first popped on the scene, I first seen Brendan Adams. I'm like, damn, I know this nigga. And this was like years ago. And I was thinking, I remember seeing him down there in Linwood. And LD laughing his ass off, says, what the fuck, Picasso? And Brandon said, drop the link, says, I'm just interested. And he says, I gave Reggie some advice to help to help his reading abilities and comprehension. Nah, you can't help me there, Picasso. And then here go the link. Let me drop the link for those who want to get on before I end this one, because I wanted to go into the All-Star game. That All-Star game was good as hell. The All-Star game was good, except for the final quarter and shit. And they can tweak that shit. That was a real good All-Star game. I wasn't gonna watch it. Then this nigga Deuce get the bragging about that shit. I'm like, man, the All-Star game is point. It's just an exhibition. I don't care to watch it. But them fools really in there balling, man. And they care to play. They care how they play. And I think that shit is almost reflective of how it is playing on the blacktop. They brought in the way that black people play this basketball shit. They brought it to doing it how black people do it. That's how all these fucking professional sports that's blown up through implementing the way in which black people play this shit. Like I'm listening to the white commentator dude talking about the OGs and shit. White people ain't never used no shit like that. But guess what you're gonna start hearing them say? OG. And then Up NOD says just out the blue, says the Picasso always writing out the blue shit. Mark Summers says says those are my people. Up NOD says watch your mouth, chump. Yeah, because Mark Summers is a new arrival. He an immigrant ass motherfucking white dude. And he says, and Peckerwood says, are your people, Mark? And then CJ says that was the best All-Star game in a while. Yeah, that shit was very, very good. And like I was telling Deuce, because, he always hyped about Kawhi Leonard. I never really watched Kawhi play before. I never watched him play like that before. And that motherfucker was getting off and shit. He was making it look easy until I think they were just tired in that final game. They were just too tired. Versus they gonna have to change that shit maybe, or give them a break to where you just don't go right into the next game. But then again, they got subs and shit. So no, they don't need to change that. I think the coaching just gonna have to use better strategies in managing time. And then and Picasso says, fuck that All-Star game. Says it was exciting, says when it was in Dallas. My bad, says the championship game. But yeah, but with the topic, like I say, man, I don't think integration is a bad thing. I think we need to clean up a lot with the condition of black folks, changes within the way we go about conduct, the way people want to control motherfuckers. People want to rule over people and shit. That shit needs to be drawn to a fucking end. There ain't nothing cool about that shit. Even if you are gonna follow the pathway of being, kind of outside of society, being an outlaw or gangster with this shit, a lot of that shit needs to be cleaned up. But I think parents need to do a better job of having more control over their kids, so therefore they're not going in the direction to where the streets now regulate them. The streets determine how they go about living in life, how they breathe, how they walk, how they dress. Like, that's some of the most degenerate fucking shit. People telling you how you got to dress, People are telling you how to breathe, what to do. You make money. They telling you it's the gang money. People get on, they pull away. Like you see success just be broken from that type of life choice and shit. You watch so many people throw so much away, going in the direction amongst people who are degenerate as fuck, who don't know the value on shit, don't even know the value of money. You put money in their hand, they blow it. These days, you pass $100,000 to motherfuckers with this mindset, they ain't gonna do a goddamn thing with it. And they always complain about people with success. Oh, this nigga don't do nothing for the community, because you give into these motherfuckers money, they gonna blow it on alcohol, they'll blow it on drugs, they'll blow it on bitches. And then guess what? They'll go to jail behind these bitches. Because they'll find that bitch fucking with other motherfuckers, blowing it on bitches, and they be in love with the broad and lose their fucking minds and commit a crime behind an unworthy bitch that should be fucked for free. Motherfuckers should learn how to find bitches they love, keep that bitch, and keep it as that. And bitches need to learn how to turn off that degenerate shit they be on as well. And then access, because I always just found it easy to fuck bras. That's why I never wanted to be in a relationship. Or then you find bitches that be just too desperate looking for love. Like, fuck all that shit. I'm good. Let me just fuck. And I've been sad. I can't break out of that shit. I don't think I ever will. I just be wanting to fuck. That's it. And then Access says there's literally interviews from the 1960s by Bougie Black, says complaining about the Southern refugees, says moving in, says then we had the Watts riot, says those folks were considered refugees from Texas and LA. But even like when you look at the Watts conditions, it was you even had the Bougie Blacks in those areas as well until they're able to. You have some blacks that broke out of the more racial covenants in real estate, but then you start having to where as they start opening up, they start changing the laws on discrimination practiced by fucking white realtors and shit, who are allowing a bunch of white immigrants. Because even a bunch of the whites who lived in LA, a lot of these motherfuckers are immigrants. A lot of them motherfuckers. Because it's like I remember as a kid, I used to hear my dad and them talk about their stories and shit and be talking about how when they moved over there, the white folks wouldn't talk to them and shit. Because they were like the second black family over there. So they had a bunch of number of white folks living next door to them. Some of them, they said, owned jewelers, cleaners, and all type of shit. Because everything was small business. You didn't deal with all this corporations owning every fucking thing. So there's a lot of small business and shit. So a lot of people are business owners and shit. But they was like the white folks who wouldn't speak to them, and these white folks with no other language. What are these, like Italian motherfuckers or Irish, whatever the fuck they were. But a lot of whites in the LA area were immigrant ass white people. And they'll speak in their language, thinking you would understand it. I think Pops used to cuss them out and whatever language is, they'll walk in the house. It'd be like they just didn't have relations with their white neighbors. The white neighbors would sit there, the bitches would sit there whispering and talking the dumb shit they talk. And then when the Watts riots happen, these motherfuckers I always remember that shit. Hearing them talk about how them white folks began to fucking live in fear like a motherfucker. And their whole thing, because of the ill treatment they have always shown towards blacks, they thinking that there's going to be retaliation from the black folks following the Watts riots and the way the media runs a narrative into how they film this shit, and it begins to just draw up all this fucking fear of a black uprising and the slaughtering of white folks. Like, motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. Leave motherfuckers the fuck alone. It's simply the message. And so these fools are fucking they start wanting to seek comfort from dad and them and shit. And fucking I guess they were cool with them and shit. I had to ask artists and drill and all them will know that. But then I remember always hearing them speak on that shit, how the whites begin to kind of change and all that other shit. And then you start seeing them just move the fuck up out of the areas. Whites begin to move, the blacks start to roll in and moving into nice fucking neighborhoods. South Central was a nice fucking area. Even when I go back to LA and show people, drive through the neighborhood, because everybody always see the boys in the hood and how they project. When you drive through this shit at a ground level, all this shit is nice than a motherfucker. That's like I was shocked the first time ever. And the boxing scholar says, what did I pull up into? It says the thumbnail says doesn't match. I wouldn't give a fuck what it don't match. And then Mark Summers says, what I saw growing up says was white kids never hit female. Oh, I can't wait to go in that comment. That's a dumb comment. But even when you drive through, like I was saying, the first time I ever went into the jungles, because I used to always hear this negative shit about the jungles. And this wild. When I'm actually in the jungles, I'm looking like we in some old rich ass neighborhood because we getting ready to play a basketball game. We just there early as fuck. It ain't nobody out in the community. We walking through there. It's all these nice ass apartments. The lands look good over there. All this shit just look nice as fuck over here. And so I'm dumbfounded till we like saying when we walking, somebody talking about cuz this and cuz that. And one of the kids we walking with know where we at. He said, man, stop saying that shit. He like, cuz, what you talking about, man? That nigga like, man, nigga, you know where we at? We looking like, nigga, no, we ain't probably nothing but white people around here. Like, nigga, we good. Like, he like, nigga, this is the jungles. This is a BPS. We like, oh, fuck. Like, nigga, we ready to turn around, leave, and go back to the gym. Then we walking back. We hearing the niggas playing blood music in the parking lot. And then this is the first time I ever hear how you diss the word blue. They niggas in there bang on it. So once the community wake up and the game started, all these bloods up in there, they know we from Jesse Owens. The team playing there is the Blue Devils. These niggas ran us out the gym talking about get that flu ass shit up out of here. Chase us to the coach's truck. Then we have to drive down that fucking hill. But what's up, Brandon? Go ahead and cook.
I ain't really had nothing to cook up, man. I was listening to you, and I thought I'm glad. What up, Megazord? Man, what up, Megazord?
What's up, Megazord?
What's up, man? I was just gonna tell Reggie, you know you my brother, but you definitely wrong. And integration
You
definitely
good
ruined that.
opinion. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Let's go. I wanted to hear it too. Let's go. I was waiting. I was just gonna say I'm waiting on opposition for you, Reg. That's what I come for.
Yes, indeed. Let's get to it. Go ahead. Brandon gonna
Hey,
let you cook. Go ahead.
I got to get my baby situated first, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm just finna go on mute. I got to get my daughter situated.
All right, for sure, for sure. Go ahead, Brandon.
Like I said, I didn't have much. Really, I was popping in and out because I saw that you was doing the another show in the All-Star game. I've been asleep damn near most of the day because I'm lazy. But yeah, I've been asleep. So I ain't watched the All-Star game. I ain't watched none of this. So I was back watching the highlights and shit. But I'm glad. One thing I did when I did pop in, and that's why I was like, keep going, because one thing, the main thing is we were targeted by the government. Once you put the government interference has always been attached to black people's well doing or how black people do in this country, that we won't. People they won't admit it, but we are a class of people that's under government surveillance or how always had government interference in our community, whatever that entails, whether welfare, whether surveilling the people that they call radical in our community who won't change, whether that's turning our community into police states, whether them over policing, all of that. We've had to deal with that. So I think a lot of that affects us as a people. And then you look on TV and this is what we got. They just show the worst of us. These ugly ass bitches with baby hair and slick down. They just show the worst of us. So we started to believe that that's us. And a lot of our people start emulating that because they think that that's us because that's what they project back to us, but that's not. That's just like you wrote in the title. I think that's just the degenerate part of us. But go ahead, Megazord, if you ready. I was just holding down till you got ready.
And then let me respond to Mark Summers' comments talking about white kids,
Go
and
for it.
that's bullshit. White people have been very abusive to white women, and they've always been abusive to white women. Now you don't project that shit through the media. The media will never highlight that shit. It'll never get highlighted in films. But you guys have been very abusive to your women. That's always been the case. It's been the case when you look at media situations of white women lying about some black dude doing something. It's been their husbands beating on them and shit. And there's a lot of abuse that y'all see inside your households. So he says, not as kids and yeah, right. It's kids and teenagers y'all deal with that shit. Y'all get called into the dean's office. They may not suspend y'all asses, but you definitely have it in your school. It's a huge problem. You motherfuckers are alcoholic as teenagers. What the hell you mean you don't hit on chicks? Like, you fucking crazy. You just see that shit portrayed in movies about black dudes doing it, so you believe that shit.
Right. Like I said, show the worst of us, show the degeneracy. Man, you could just tell the spirit was different. Go ahead, Megazord. You done came out. Go get your point out, bro.
I just say this: integration from a data standpoint. This is empirical data. It really dismantled a black economic base, a black social and educational institutions, and that's what ultimately led to our self-sufficiency. Now, if you take away a people's self-sufficiency, what the next step is being degenerate. Like, that's literally the next step. Once you take away a person's self-sufficiency and you put that responsibility in somebody else's hands, henceforth, most of the women Brandon is referring to, Section 8. They're not self-sufficient. And then the behavior. So what I will say is, what you're not saying isn't wrong in the fact that our degeneracy is what keeps our community where it's at. But every cause has an effect. We didn't just become degenerate. Like, we had manners. Where did that come from? When you take away people's social norms, and you got to understand, Black Wall Street was just one example. But we had hundreds of towns that was dismantled, whether it was through violence, or whether it was through how they would later do the redlining and all of that. I could just speak from Dallas. Back in the 50s and the 60s, they blew the levees in our neighborhoods and destroyed black towns through dynamites in people's house and things of that nature. So I would say integration definitely hurt us, because before that, were we really banging our fists to get in the white people's establishment like that? Like, I don't see nothing where we was crying. There's nothing in the history of printed history where we were crying and beating down the doors to try to get in their establishments. And then when they did do it, we suffered from integration both ways. Because when they integrated the schools, we was getting attacked and shit. So, and what I'm saying is, get the white person that you go to school with, or the white person that you work with, get them out of your mind. I'm talking about white folks on high. I ain't talking about the white folks that go to the polls to vote. I ain't talking about them. Because like you said, they dealt with dysfunction at a high level in their households too. So I'm not talking about them, because they aren't the architects of what integration would eventually do to our neighborhood, eventually bringing crack and all this other shit, which leads to deep levels of degeneracy. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not sitting here saying that what you saying is not right, but every cause has an effect. The degeneracy is the effect, but what's the cause of that? When you take away a person's self-sufficiency, what are they gonna do? That's the next thing to do, is to dive into degeneracy.
But let me say this with integration and the degeneracy wasn't there. As blacks move into some of the more populated, more resourceful cities, black people begin to find growth. Black people expanded. Black people begin to have home ownerships in major cities, multiple properties to be owned. The difference start to come. Black people start to move into the political sphere, start having control, start having things and growth, and able to pull other black families from out of the South into these greater opportunities in work and in fucking education. Now you begin to have the issues with the government. That's why I put the government targeting. The government began to target these locations as well, along with the degenerate behavior still existing within these communities. We start dealing, when we look in, even when you see in black exploitation, the black exploitation highlights the role of seeing the drug dealer, the pimp, other street type figures in this environment and shit, is what they highlight through this film. So that began to be what you see. But you also have the role of the stand-up father, the working guy who got up, went to work, took care of his family, the mother who played the role of ensuring the household was taken care of. You had that. But now when you start dealing with the government targeting as black people moving to management, other ownership, changing laws and shit, you deal with that. But you also still have the youth, the movement of youth who begin to move away from following in the footsteps of their parents that work hard, that got out here and grind and got it, and begin to see themselves hanging out in the streets and wanting to follow that pathway. Because it's an older film, but go ahead, I'm gonna let you take over. But it's an older film where it's the black dude. I gotta find the name of this film. It's an old film where this young dude, it's a grandmother living in the house. The father's tough on him. They show him in a moment where he going out to a bar, he hanging around with prostitutes, he's seeing shit going on. The grandmother died. If anybody know that film I'm talking about, if you can put it in there. But go ahead.
Well, President LBJ formed the Kerner Commission in 1967 to pretty much track the progress of blacks while they on this onward march of civil rights. But when they checked it in like the mid to late 80s, they said that it was more progress working backwards than it was more backwards activity than actual progress. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we talking about like,
bro.
huh? You ain't never heard of
I don't know about that, bro. But
you
go
ain't
ahead.
never this you can ask Brandon. Brandon, am I lying?
The way that I understood the Kerner Commission, what was happening was it was a commission that was put together by, I think it ain't William Kerner, but Kerner. What they did was they was trying to find out what was going on in the black communities about why it was rioting, why it was a bunch of civil unrest. So what they did, they formed a commission called the Kerner Commission, and they started figuring out all the steps of what happened or what's wrong in the black community. They already know what's wrong. They did this. They said that it's we don't have jobs, we don't have economics, the poverty structure, which contributes to the abandonment of our household. So they already know all of this, bro. They just went and done a study on it, and they was like, "Oh, this was wrong with the black community. If we want to fix it, this is how we fix it." But they didn't. But that's where a lot of them social programs from the Nixon administration come out of, where a lot of people was getting them government jobs. If you notice, most black people, most of the jobs we have, they either driving jobs, we either work for the city, the county, or we medical field. But that's pretty much it. We ain't in too many other fields like that, but that's where we at. If you go down to the county, DMV, anything, we work there. You know what I'm saying? Like, them the kind of jobs that we got, like government jobs, because them the jobs came that popped open based on the so-called reforms coming out of the Kerner Commission, out of Nixon's so-called whatever reform. But go ahead. I ain't mean to hog either. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You good. No, that was a good cook. Go ahead, Megazar. But I wanted to say this about Mark Summers, who loves to defend and speak this ignorant shit like white people haven't been a problem. White people have definitely been a problem in this country. And then it's funny because you see a lot of white complainer or whatever, the white fatigue. Whites have no reason to be upset in this country, to be mad at the government, to act as if the government is holding them back and this and that. So it shows that white people see a clear issue within the system, but the issue of the government holding them back has never been one that has been there for them.
The thing about it, Reg, is what they do during these election cycles. You're gonna see it during the midterms. They blame other people instead of blaming the people in charge. They just deflect. Like, if I don't give a damn whether I like this shit or not, but the way Pam Bondi and the way they get up there and act in these congressional hearings, bro, that shit is ridiculous. This bitch is up there deflecting. They asking a question. Well, what about this? And you're deflect, bitch. Somebody hold this bitch in contempt of Congress. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? But because of the snapback world and, oh, she bad built, you bad built white woman. Well, now we're in the snapback world. Everybody is get it out for. I told him, and now you see people on Twitter arguing. That's how they argue now. They snapping back. And that's the world we live in. These snappy, snipey ass comments because we've been socially engineered by this social media. Most of the people who design social media are not on social media. They don't allow their children on social media because they understand what it is. It's just certain shit they just not gonna allow. Now, when they children get older, they children go do what they do. Most of the time, we see these white children go be wild and shit in their 20s, and then you see them in their 30s, they married with company. You're like, what the fuck? Like when you see Paris Hilton, that Paris, every time I see her, it just pisses me off. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Reg. I just be ranting.
No, no, it's for y'all. I already cooked, man. I cooked for an hour, so y'all can take as long as y'all want cooking. You make a
Oh
good point.
yeah, but but yeah, that's the type of shit. Like we not afforded the opportunity to fuck up in our 20s and then be able to be covered in our 30s. We don't have that kind of money. We don't even have that kind of system, or we don't have that kind of structure where you could go do that. Their environments is controlled and shit. So they able to go do that. And then guess what? Daddy got a spot at the company for him. Daddy got something for him. Somebody got it's something for them. I was reading when I had read Trump's niece's book.
And guess what?
You know,
And
I
had we not
go ahead.
and had we not suffered integration, we'd have had something for our goddamn self.
You can't say that
But
because
you
I'm gonna
would
tell you
got it.
why.
You would have
Well,
got it in
no,
your
my
state.
thing is the reason why I'm gonna say that is because during those times when it was self-reliance, that's all we had. And we did.
But where were you going in this self reliance period as a
What
as
you
a
mean?
world?
But you gotta
See, bro,
understand in you gotta understand
if
in
you
these
say that,
towns, you gotta understand in these towns, we were the mayors. We was in we was in politics in our towns. They
no, we
had
wasn't. We
hospitals
was
and
not the mayors.
schools.
We was not the mayors of these towns. No, we wasn't.
There's still white
No, we
folks down
wasn't.
there, bro.
The thing about it is, I think that the civil right issue, if we should have asked for anything, we were upset because they had separate but equal. That's what we should have been asking for. Separate but equal. Separate but equal. Make sure that everything is separate but equal. Meaning that you can't mistreat us, that we want to still, but we'll still be separate from y'all. That's no problem. But and that would have been the economic system because then you got separate banks. You got separate schools districts, separate neighborhoods. That's the thing I believe we should have been asking for instead of integrating into take society. Because now that we integrate in their society, we got a code switch and shit. We got to go to work
Yeah,
and code switch. Some people don't, some people do, but most of us do. We got a code switch. We got to make them feel comfortable when we're working with them. We have to show them that we're not a threat to them, that they don't have to be worrying about the aggressive shit that they see, or when they see our children or hear our children music, that we not emulating their behavior. But if separate but equal, then you respect it because we have our own industry. So now, if you want to do business with our industry, oh, Coca-Cola, you want to, oh, you want to end in the black community and you want to bottle your Coke in our bottling plant, no problem. But those are the things. It's just that when you have the thing about it is our community most of the time is led by religious leaders. We're not led by scientists. We're not led by business people or people that study this stuff or do this for a living. Most of our people come out of religion, bro. They
But
just
why is
do.
that though? That's an effect to a cause though.
that's out of slavery, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So so whenever we were allowed to move past just the past of being the central figure, the central leader, you had people that you could look up to. Now, was it to the
We
scale
haven't
of
moved
what?
past that. We haven't moved
No,
past that. Right
I'm
now,
saying
the black
no.
church is
I'm saying
central.
we haven't. I'm saying we haven't now because we've had we have backwards mobility because the NAACP is a perfect example. The NAACP isn't set up for black economic build. It's to put you in a place where you won't have that. A lot of those social programs that came from from all of that other stuff, it led to our detriment. Yeah, a few niggas ate some
Not
sandwiches.
necessarily. I won't. No, no, no. I'm not gonna say that because a lot of that
Allegedly.
provided opportunities for other people to get those jobs and do up my mobility. I think a lot of the things that set us back are we had incompetent leadership that was on the take, and we never concentrated on building ourselves up as a people like the Asians do. We never did shit like that. We were concentrating on getting up, getting out, and then shining instead of getting up, getting out, and making sure our community was beautiful and a place that we want to stay. We keep asking for our
But
own community,
that came at a
but we
later
got
time.
our
That
own,
came
but we
at a
got
later
places.
time.
Hold on, that's not true. I'm gonna say
It
this:
did
we
come at a
have
later time.
communities where black people are predominantly at. Go look at them. It's trash and shit around there. It's fucking. We don't give a fuck about. So when we ask to be running these states and to be having our own, I don't know. I don't know. Me
All I'm saying
just
is,
looking
all I'm
around, I
saying
see
is,
trash. And then when I
Reggie,
go to work and see people,
you
go
talking
ahead,
about
go ahead.
today black folks. You talking about today
But
black
even,
folks.
even back then,
You
black
talking
folks,
about the
they were
Go
now
still
go pull up
Grant,
pictures of Chicago in the
was your
ghetto in the 60s and see if it's trash. Go pull it up, Reg. Like, I don't
yeah,
know what he's
exactly.
talking about. I don't even know why he's saying that. Like, come on, bro. This is a behavior. This is
No,
something that
because
you see in your
Begazar believes that integration was a problem, and it's not. Because the other thing, like even with
I
government
believe it
interference,
was a problem, but I think now that it's already here, now you move past, now you figure out, okay, well, why was integration a problem? And since we here, how do we solve it where it benefit us?
but
That's the
see,
thing.
this becomes the issue with even government targeting and interference. Because even when you look at even amongst this Trump era of shit, Trump shows the reliance of government assistance to white fucking communities. From the way he can pull resources and make these executives bow down to their knees, the way he can bow down media people, the way he can pull funding from projects which can destroy their companies. White folks have been the biggest benefactors of a welfare entitlement system.
That's a
And it
fact.
shows. And it goes to show why the government has to, where black people got to play a stronger political role and a stronger push. And going back to the leadership thing, having greater leadership of
Right,
people.
and we gotta do better with with developing leaders, like developing our children, like targeting them. Hey man, we need political people. Fuck these religions. I'm fucking sick of these religious people. I'm done. I don't want to hear no more religion. And you getting up there, fuck that, because most of y'all always a compromise. It's always something with these weird ass fucking religious leaders. Either they sell us out or they weak. I don't want to hear from no religious person no more. What I want to hear from, I want to hear from somebody that says, "Hey, I was groomed for this. This is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do this on behalf of Black people, and and go do it." And we do that. Go in strategic places. Stop putting our sons in these fucking football fields. Stop putting out. If we want what we asking for, then we have to sacrifice, and that sacrifice is gonna come from us and our children. Say, "Hey, look." I know we like singing and dancing and rapping and all that shit. We might need to ease back on that a little bit. I ain't saying we might need to kind of unpopulate these basketball courts and unpopulate these football fields on Saturdays. We might want to take them somewhere else. We might want to start taking them and putting them in classes like Toastmasters, debates. We might want to start taking them to these courtrooms or putting them in these clubs, in these chess clubs, in these different clubs, putting them in these different circles. That's what we might want to do. And maybe we'll get what we ask for, but we keep asking for the same shit, but we keep doing the same thing. What your son doing? He play basketball. What your daughter doing? She cheerlead. Okay, well, goddamn. What the fuck? How you think we gonna just okay? So, but you ask the Asian people what they doing. They don't have no representatives nowhere. How many Asian senators in Congress? Count them. How
No,
many
but they are
Indian senators?
moving up locally though. They
But you know
definitely
how
do.
they moving. But you know how they moving. They moving
With the
together,
smartest
unity.
amongst them, the smartest
Yeah, and
amongst
they
them.
shutting the fuck up. They banking together. They shutting the fuck up, and they doing it. We done been here long enough. We understand that it's certain things we can do for each other and with each other. We know that. We just at the end of the day, we don't want the sacrifice. We want to go out on Saturday nights. We want to go watch our sons run up and down football fields and basketball fields on Saturdays. We spent hours and hours doing this, taking them to practice. Just imagine if you was taking them to oratory practice or you was developing them and we was able to do that. We got the mindset to do that. We done sheltered our children. We not bad human beings as parents. We came through the dope era. They didn't live through no crack. They just watching motherfuckers die off of pills and fentanyl. This saying, that's what I think. If we want it, like The religion shit, we tried that already as far as letting them lead the black. That ain't working. They manipulate the shit out these religiously. They manipulate their morals. They manipulate their principles. But if you going in there with just, hey, I'm a politician, this is just what I do. I don't believe in no religion. I ain't up here. I'm working on behalf of this. I'm gonna do this to get this to get this. Until we get that and start developing our people like that, we're just gonna keep going in this circle. In the circle we in, because we integrated, we lost now. We lost. We don't have no direction. Only time some galvanized black people, oh, the police shot such and such. Lord have mercy. In the video app. But other than that, what we doing? On Twitter arguing right now. Our celebrities arguing with each other. Most of them going back and forth with each other. They dissing each other. That's what we doing. Until some come along that snap us up out of it. Oh, did you see? Oh, Lord, hit the streets. Oh, Lord. And then guess what? The white people come out and say, we sorry. We're going to take them to jail. And then we wait for the trial. They better take their ass like a Ahmaud Arbery. They better. Oh, they gave some time. Okay, back to business as usual. No, not back to business as usual.
I
That's the
mean,
time to start the
I mean,
initiative.
I
To
don't
say,
mean to
why
cut
did
you
this
off.
happen? Go
I
ahead.
mean to cut you
Go
off,
ahead.
bro.
Go ahead.
But
I'm talking. No, you go ahead, because I'm just rambling. I'm tired.
okay, is that I'm gonna be real with you. That can you be whole? He said, us hating against ourselves. Well, that's the same thing going on in Mexico. That's why Mexico can't get no fucking word. Because the cartel's killing every goddamn body and nobody standing up to them. Everywhere you go
That's
on the
not
planet,
true,
it's people.
Megatron. They got an infrastructure. It don't matter what we see.
No,
What you
that's
don't
not
realize.
true, Brandon. No, let
No,
them cook.
What infrastructure they got?
They
Man,
don't,
white
bro,
Brandon.
they
folks
got a.
over there. It's white
Hold on,
folks
I'm
over
gonna
there living it
explain.
up.
That's degenerate.
Go
They
ahead.
part of that degenerate shit too, Brandon. But go
But
ahead,
what
man.
you mean? My thing is if
Responsible.
my
Let them
thing
cook.
is this: if you scavenge any community, so the Russians and the Ukrainians different people. No, they not different people. Somebody just cut up some land and took some from them and say this is the Ukraine now. But them the same people. And they were just how long? How many years did they fought for them? 2 years. Just the recent war. Everywhere anybody go, their number one fight is against themselves.
They not
Who
the
have
same
I
people. Just so you know, they not the same people.
Yes, they are,
from
Brandon.
a nationality standpoint,
Yes,
they
they
not.
are.
No,
But
they
from an
not. From a
ethnicity
nationality,
standpoint,
they
No,
not.
no.
no,
You
from an
thinking about the
ethnicity
whole
standpoint,
vast
they are. From an
of
ethnicity
Russia.
standpoint, they
But
are.
Ukrainians and Russians are the same.
What you mean from an ethnicity standpoint, they are, not just from a nationality, but that's just recent. That's within the last 80, 70, 80
That,
years.
that's what
That
I'm
place was the
saying.
US.
They not.
It was, I'm saying from an ethnicity, they are, but
That's
not
like
from a
saying we the
nationality.
same. That's like we the same as Africans. We not.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't, because you got to understand, they're on the same landmass. We're not on the same landmass as Africans. A New York nigga is a Dallas nigga. We just from different cities, we different states, but we still the same black people. Them people share a landmass that somebody came and made up and cut up some lines. They was all the USSR at one point.
I co-sign that for now until I do, boy. But I co-sign that.
You ain't
I
got no
co-sign
choice
that.
but to.
I
You ain't got no
co-sign that.
choice but you don't have no
I
choice
don't
but
think
to.
that they would say that they the same people. I don't think
You
they would
know why?
say that.
Because they done fought wars. It's
Yeah,
different, but
they want to be proper.
from an ethnicity standpoint, them the same people.
So
Like
you saying
what
Bloods and
Dr.
Crips
Neely
are the
say?
same
What
people?
what Dr. Neely
So
say?
are you
I don't
saying
have enough
Bloods and Crips?
information to separate. I don't have enough
Bloods and
information to
Crips are the
separate
same
them.
people, though, Brandon. You can't even use
They
that
are the
That's
same.
what I'm
You know,
saying. If we using that logic, then I equate that to Bloods and Crips. They the same people, but they killing each other, but they the same people.
Absolutely.
that's the
I
same
take
thing.
that. I take that. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, from a
That's how I
nationality
rationalize.
standpoint, yeah, they different people from a nationality standpoint because they done fought wars to be like, no, this is what we are. So, which is the same thing as Bloods and Crips, even though they fighting over manipulated resources and things of that nature.
They're
But
not
like
fighting over resources. The Bloods and Crips are not fighting over resources. That's a
I
lie.
mean, no, they're not fighting over. No, I didn't say Blood and Crips was fighting over resources. I said that the
Oh, I thought you
Ukrainians and the
said
Russians
Bloods
was
and
fighting
Crips. I
over
was like, that's a lie.
manipulated resources that somebody came in and took from some and gave to the other. That's an extra I made, but
But
It's too
but
active
the
hungry.
Mexico thing, you was on the Mexico point. The Mexico point I was making is they still have a sovereign country.
No,
They got a
they
country.
still have but their sovereignty has been manipulated because the sovereignness of the
All
country can't do
sovereignty is
anything to help the
manipulated.
people. Yeah, that's
All
true.
sovereignty is
That's
manipulated.
that's
So what
true.
I'm saying is they
But the
got a
point I was
country. That's
making
all I'm
was
saying.
the point I was making was the dude said so-called black people's biggest issue is us killing each other, and that's not our
That's
biggest
not
issue.
true. That's
That's
not
not
our
our
biggest
biggest
issue.
issue. It's in the top 5, but it's not our biggest. It's because crime anywhere you go happens per proximity.
Our biggest issue is lack of knowledge.
Lack of
That's our
knowledge.
biggest issue. That's our biggest issue. What we don't know. Do you think if we know? I watched the Jeffrey Epstein interview, and this motherfucker was talking about the stock market and money and how it's all basically just bullshit made up a little game that only a little club know, and everybody else, and they don't teach it to people, and they make it so complicated because they don't want everybody to know how simple and how much money they make. So, do you think if we would stop teaching football, and Red, do you know if you taught your son right now, sent him to class for stock market or how to work the S&Ps or how to learn that, your son would probably be a millionaire and have you retire by the time he 25? Did you know that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Seriously.
That's why I have an
If
issue
we,
with that
but we
market shit.
don't do that. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm
Y'all
sorry.
cooking.
Well,
No,
no, well,
no, I
like I'm
interrupted
saying,
you. I interrupted you.
Y'all
no,
cooking.
I'm just saying, like I said, I'm just saying what old boy said. He said the cartels got but Mexico, who cares about what the cartel got on lock in terms the people not benefiting? So it's the cartels manipulating the politicians for the people moving backwards. It ain't like the people benefiting from the cartels having them on lock. So it's still the same issue.
Yeah, and then that's the crazy thing to even use the cartel as an
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
example
saying.
for
My thing is
Mexico. They
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
poison.
because you can replace the cartels with the lobbyists here in America. Just be like lobbyists. Instead of
But it's
cartel,
like,
put lobbyists there. It's the
but it's
same
like
thing.
what is the product of the cartel? What is the resource? Drugs. They poison the fucking environment they come from, and that money only goes. It doesn't benefit the people. It benefits a small organization of crime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And so it's the thing about it is the cartel is so powerful they can't stop ICE from doing the goddamn thing. You powerful against them. You powerful against the
Hold on.
lesser.
What you mean? Hold on, slow down. Hold on, explain that because I didn't
What I'm
understand that.
no, this is what I
America
mean.
went
This is what
there.
I mean. The cartels are powerful against other cartels. If America draft up any type of military power, go over there, it's a wrap.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
That's
It's
a
a.
fact.
I ain't gotta say America. Iraq could send them niggas. Iraq should send them niggas back.
Oh, whoa. You went too far now. You done went too damn far. Iraq, I believe Mexico would beat Iraq in a war. Fuck what you on.
I said the cartels. I didn't say.
I
I didn't
believe
say the.
I believe Mexico would beat Venezuela. I believe Mexico would beat a lot of them countries, bro. I don't know. Don't be sleeping on Mexico, bro. Don't do Mexico
I
like
mean,
that.
I mean, the only reason they would is because they gonna be double twisting America for all they goddamn hitting
Boy,
America with the double twist.
Don't you know the Mexicans be building big bridges? They'll be building temporary houses in weeks. They'll be building bridges and shit out of thin air. Got these Mexicans fucked up, boy. They'll be
And that,
building shit on
and
their
guess
way.
what? And they'll drone that shit right back. As soon as that shit get up, it's gonna get droned right back down.
Real. And then this other thing, the cartels
And this
weapons
the
come from
thing.
America. America can cut off
My thing
fucking
is, if
supply.
they building bridges over here with other people's money and resources, they ain't building no goddamn bridges over there where they stay.
You ain't never been to Mexico. Don't do that, man.
I have
Why
been
you
to
gotta do that?
Mexico. Yes, I have been to
We're doing
Mexico.
what?
You don't remember? You don't remember when I told you me, brother Ori and brother Marcus got stopped in goddamn Mexico and they searched all our
That's
shit
not
and all.
Mexico, fool.
That was
That's not.
Mexico.
I'm talking about actually living in Mexico City, like being in Mexico,
No,
like in the
I know, I
interior.
know. No, I've been to Juarez too.
Man, everybody done damn near been to water. That don't count. I'm talking about real Mexico, like inside it, like dry. You on the outskirts, you on border towns. I've
Look
been to
here.
we all been to border town. We all done
Them
that.
towns you talking about, guess who living the best in them towns? White folks,
White people, yeah.
white fucking folks. So, like I said, somebody double twisting America for recess. The only chance they got. They get on their knees and hit Trump with the double
You a
twist.
foul dude. You a foul dude, bro. That's some foul
Look,
shit to
let
say.
them cook. Let them cook.
Am I telling the truth though?
I wouldn't articulate the truth in that fashion.
I know you wouldn't, but shit, double twist.
Yeah, but America go in there and destroy all of that shit if they wanted to.
Of course
That's
they.
even the threat Trump was making to them and shit.
Yeah, if you this the thing. Like he said,
Hey,
white Mexicans.
bro. Hold up, Vegas. Hey, Trump picked that. He said, I want that Nobel Peace Prize. I should have it anyway. Next day, that bitch was bringing it to him. Nobody said nothing.
That-
Hey,
yeah,
Reg, nobody said nothing.
no, I know that nigga ignorant, man.
And took a picture. She was smiling. She said, well, President Trump wanted it, so I gave it to him. That motherfucker got that price. He said, I told y'all I should have it anyway. And they really should. I should have like 2 or 3 of these. Really? Shit. He ought to go invade all the presidents. He fuck around trying to take Obama shit. Watch he come out and be like, I think I should have Obama's.
Hell no. He could do
Man,
that shit.
Trump. I'm gonna tell you, Trump's actions fall back more so on his diehard supporters. I'm talking about the MAGA. Because the people who voted for him for strategic this, and this, I don't really blame them because I understand the game they was looking at because they were basing it off of the first time he was president. You know what I'm saying? But this second, this second what's it called? And people saying, man, people force him to do. I said, say, bro, that's one president. I don't think nobody forcing that man to do nothing. He doing the fuck he want to do.
Facts.
Right? Ain't no lobby pressing him to do. That man doing what he want to do.
That's Duke's argument, and I would say, do I think he's a gung ho type of person? Yeah, but do I think it's a lobby pressing him too? Of course I do. I don't
Hell
think
yeah.
he just
Well,
really.
I
I
wouldn't
think
say
it's a
I
lobby.
wouldn't say pressing. I would be like they'd be like, you don't think you should do this? You don't think you should? You don't. When people like that, you got to be skillful at how you present them shit. Cause like I'm just saying the way he's maneuvering,
And you
he's
could trick him. I believe you could trick him.
oh yeah, you
You could
definitely
trick
can
him
trick
into
him.
doing what you want to do. I
You
believe that.
definitely he's definitely now. I didn't say that. He's definitely getting tricked into thinking that he wanted to do that shit. Definitely getting manipulated for shit sure.
Yeah, because everything around him surrounds money. So if you come with the ideal of it's profitable, you get away with that shit. But if ain't nothing tangible connected to a dollar, Trump ain't listening to that shit.
Most of all, if it ain't no benefit from him down the line, he ain't listening to it.
Here go L5 player, the one who wrote about
Yeah, let him
thing
cook.
about
Let him cook. Yeah, let him
violence.
cook.
Go ahead. Go ahead, L.
What it is, brothers? Thanks for letting me on. I said earlier, it wasn't solely like the biggest problem amongst so-called black people being killing each other outright. I mean, that to me, that's like I hear that often, but like it's not like the biggest issue, even though that is a big problem. I was saying more in the sense of anonymity with one another. It seems like everywhere I've traveled, I'm from New York, but everywhere I go to, like every hood, I've seen the dudes that beef with each other the most, as far as within the so-called black community, seem to be other black cats. And a lot of times, like I've seen other nationalities ride on so-called black people, yeah, at least as far as America goes, and they'll team up against so-called black people, whether that be Mexicans, other Latin cats, white people, you name it. And you don't see many efforts. You may see like anomalies or one-off instances in which like so-called black people may team up on like enemies, but long term, nah. Whereas like in the case of like Mexican dudes, let's say like they'll like team up in an instant if they got to team up against so-called black people. And I don't even see them do that against white people. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, that happens, and I don't see like that effort in like, let's go ride on these dudes on the principle of, we just all bros. A lot of times it seems like bros have like an apathetic issue, apathy problem, where they'll see like their bro doing bad, and they almost like, like it is what it is type attitude, or fuck him, or like I've seen that, like, and I'm talking from the perspective, like, I mean, it sounds
That's the
corny.
learn. What you talking about is the learned behavior that was forced into us because of slavery. But go ahead.
I believe so. I mean, like, even though I have different opinions as far as historically, like, bros, as it relates to this country, I mean, I claim more, and that's why I say so-called black people. I'm trying not to say black people in 2026 and beyond. I'm
Well, I
more.
say,
No, I'm not shitting on it. I'm not shitting on it, and I'm not trying to convince people to do otherwise. I always use the term so-called black as a placeholder for Moors of America, but that goes without saying.
all
But
right, let me ask you this as well, because you're Puerto Rican. So is there apathy amongst Puerto
Hey, you
Rican
got to
people?
put your phone on mute.
Yeah,
F5
so
Pub, you got feedback.
yeah, so is there apathy amongst Puerto Ricans, or is there unity amongst Puerto Ricans? Because you being from New York and of Puerto Rican descent, I hear I don't hear so much peace and unity amongst Puerto Ricans all throughout New York. So I mean, you speaking a lot on black folks.
yeah, honestly, and I am Puerto Rican through and through. I've noticed that condition from being like my neighborhood, where when I was growing up in the 90s, Sunset Park, Brooklyn, was the highest density of Puerto Ricans in all New York City. It was actually the highest density of Puerto Ricans in all America at one point. But I peeped that condition from peeping Puerto Ricans, and one thing that I mean, like, people may not know this, but Puerto Ricans, I mean, especially in New York, we act just like the bros do. I mean, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like, we have like a lot of very similar culture, with the exception of like the fact that we speak Spanish also, or our households are Spanish. But in terms of Puerto Ricans, historically, the dudes that I've beefed with, 95% of the time were other Puerto Rican dudes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, and I'm not proud of that either. The gang I was in was more of a black crew, but I'm not saying that all Puerto Ricans are like that. But in the gang life in my neighborhood, Latin Kings will bang on Latin Kings. I'm not a Latin King. Like, I actually had beef with Latin Kings, but
Where y'all learn that behavior from?
I'm not gonna say. I mean, like, that's the one thing though too, Reg. In terms of like Puerto Rican cats, like I don't see that same instance like with Dominicans. Even though Dominicans are very similar to Puerto Ricans, like, they don't ride on each other like Puerto Ricans ride on each other. And I'll say the same thing. Like, in terms of like, I've only seen that as far as so-called minorities go, in largely as far as Puerto Ricans and so-called black people in New York City, especially. And again, like, our roots, our so-called roots, I mean, like, is so-called black, so-called Spanish, and so-called Indian, as far as Puerto Ricans go. But I don't know, maybe we're pre-genetically disposed to be wired in the same fashion. But also too, at the end of the day, like, when it comes to like the jail system, like, Puerto Ricans did team up. Like, when they felt like they were engulfed by like so-called 5%ers or so-called black people, like in the 90s, they teamed up, and then and then they would start, like, trying to fight, like, to protect their own, I guess. But even in the jail system, I mean, like, you have some pockets of dudes that like from what, like, I've seen, like, where like dudes like don't necessarily always ride out because a so-called black cat is being done wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like like in the jail system, that may happen sometimes, like, but it doesn't happen like all the times. Whereas, like, Dominicans, if they see each other being done wrong by another nationality, they ride, like, in jail. white cats in jail, they'll ride. Asian cats, they'll ride if they see other people doing them dirt. Puerto Ricans in jail, not necessarily. And like the bros, I mean, like they probably are among the worst reputation wise in terms of not riding out on account of them being bros, being done wrong, or you know what I'm saying. A lot of times they'll do each other more dirt.
Well,
Than
that's a direct reflection on knowledge, a direct reflection on how they're being educated, and it's a direct reflection on, like I was talking about earlier. Once you take away a person's self resiliency or self reliancy, you begin to eat away at the principles and the ethics of a people till you eventually get to that. And then we just have a history in this country of what standing up looks like and what happened to you from a plantation standpoint. So yeah, I'm not making an excuse, because I believe within the last 100 years, we've had some of the greatest leaders to come to amend that specific aspect of our character as a people. You know, we've had several leaders that weren't dealing with you had some who were dealing with the religious aspect, but some that was dealing with the political, some that was just a regular grassroots community leader. So there's no excuse today for us to be like that, especially the leaders we've had over the last 100 years in America. But
could I answer to that though?
yeah,
the one of the things that gives me pause, and again, like I always think that things will get better. Like, you know, I always have hope. I have a son. But to me right now, like so-called black cats are probably doing the worst. Like, I mean, they're doing like I say they're doing the worst of all time, but then some other cat will follow me up like, nah, like, you know, they were doing way worse than Jim Crow or like slavery. So I don't want to get into that debate. But right now, as far as the apathy problem, as far as riding on each other problem that I mentioned earlier, it seems as though the so-called black brothers or so-called black people have the worst case of apathy that they've ever had. Now, it seems that they've had the worst anonymity problem that they've always had, than they've ever had right now. You know what I'm saying? The women hate the men hate the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like the people who will talk worst about black women are so-called black men, and vice versa. Black so-called black women. I mean,
well,
like,
yeah, not to cut you off, but you know, that's literally socially engineered through social media. You don't know who in the hell behind these accounts. It's just a picture. It's just a picture where we don't, you know, I'm not saying that you aren't who you are, but all I see is an avatar. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that social media, that's not a real place. Because most of these people, you got to understand, we're in a space now where clout and fame is considered, well, I just put it like this. We're in the attention economy where we're doing everything for likes and clicks and retweets. Like that, that's social currency today. And the more social currency you build up today, you eventually have a chance to make real currency. And I like to call it the real world, REEL world, the real world, what's on camera, what's on video, in order to portray this, and this, when most oftentimes people reality don't be that, unless it's, you know, just the actual raw footage. And then today you got people crashing out just for that, because social media, like Brandon was saying earlier, has engineered a totally different type of person on. You got to understand, I grew up I was born in 1983. I was aware of the internet in high school, but I didn't have a computer with the internet in my household. And I graduated high school in 2002. We got one in 2003. We got a Dell back when Dell was, we get them those commercials, dude, you getting the Dell. That's the first time we had internet in our house, and I had already graduated high school. So my brother was a freshman in high school, so he had the computer so he was more tech savvy than me initially starting off. So just think about Now my baby brother has never been without the computer and the internet in his house. I'm 11 years older than my baby brother. He grew up with the internet. He's 32 now. No, he's 31. Just think of the dudes 10 years younger than him. They don't know what life is without it. Social media is part of growing up for them. So we live in a arena where that's actually reality to some people. Their personas are totally different. Their online persona doesn't match their regular persona amongst people because social media has allowed and enabled people to build a totally contrary caricature of who they are and portray that shit to the world. So when it comes to black folks being at enmity with each other in the public's eye, all that shit is taboo today. But in our communities, we're still at enmity with each other from a standpoint of dollars and cents, for sure. But the online shit, I can't even really put real stock into that because that's not real. You know what I'm saying? That's not real, but it's affecting people's outcome and it's affecting people's thought process. I say that.
Because I want to go into the thing about Puerto Rican where he's speaking about apathy towards black. So you don't think the lack of unity amongst Puerto Ricans inside of America didn't follow them here from the island? Because from what I hear about the island is that there's a lot of division amongst people over there, and crime is very high over there amongst them, gang related crime.
Oh no, the island's terrible, bro. Like I mean, the apathy in the island.
So that leads me to why you can't associate that shit with black folks. Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying it solely. I'm saying in terms of like the American experience that we all live in, like here, one. But in the island, it's bad too. I mean, like in terms of the anonymity problem that I mentioned earlier. But a lot of the island violence, like at times, like has to do with with taking over turf. Like the drug game over there is very bananas. And like it's like kind of as far as the culture of Puerto Rican culture, like in Puerto Rico, like it's like when you ride on somebody, it's like very common for you to like go over the top, like in your like revenge, or when you ride on somebody, like shoot up their car like 100 times, burn the car, like so in an instance like that, that's like, sometimes worse than what you see like cartels, like when they go over the top. So I mean, like it'll make like more headlines, if you will. I'm saying like anonymity a lot of times, like and again too, like most of my people are fucking so-called black cats, bro. It's not like and I barely live on the internet with the exception of coming through and listening to my man Reggie Owens. But I don't live on the internet heavy duty like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to Brooklyn, like in Brooklyn, like for instance, like with like right now, like there's a big beef between the Hoolies and the 90s. Like it's like two gangs. Like there's Latin Kings all around these dudes. There's Trinitarios, like Dominican gangs all around these dudes. These dudes don't even give them like a bit of like interest. Like they only ride on each other. And I don't say that shit happy, bro. Like I have family that are black, bro, like or so-called black. Like I don't like to see brothers doing bad. And I'm more by blood too. I mean I'm Moorish by blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that we're the real natives of America. So I don't take no joy in that shit either. And I'm not saying Puerto Ricans are doing much better, but I will say in terms of New York, like from my experience, like a lot of Puerto Ricans, like I mean not like everybody, but a lot of Puerto Ricans are like leaving New York City, you know what I'm saying? Or whereas a lot of times like I'll give an example, like black owned businesses like that I've seen like like in Newark, New Jersey, or in all parts of New York City. A lot of times, like the customers that give them the most shit are the black cats. And like it won't be like no shit about like complaining. Like they'll fuck up the store. You know what I'm saying? They'll get into altercations where they're trying to fight a motherfucker, like, you know, like over dumb shit too, like over some like simple shit. Like make it like honestly, a lot of times it's like almost like they're looking like to fucking try to embarrass like each other or try to like, you know, make somebody else feel like they pussy. You know, and like, you know, it's not like the way
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
describing.
that's. I mean, to cut you off. That's typical nigga shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
But
you know what I'm
it's hard to
saying?
navigate that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like being somebody in the street, like, you know, in general, like, I mean, like if somebody plays you, I mean, there's some dudes that'll carry that shit for a decade. I mean, like revenge is revenge, you know, like but a lot of times, like when it's like when it pops off unnecessarily, like, you know, a lot of times I see that like I see it at more propensity within the so-called black community than I would any other community in America.
I mean, that's true because, but also white supremacy ill affects black folks more than it affects anybody. Now it affects everyone, but it ill affects us worse than anybody. So whenever you, like I said, that's a direct reflection on the education. That's a direct reflection of us suffering from a lack of knowledge, and that's a direct reflection of people rejecting knowledge because it has come in many shapes and forms to us. But you know, some of us rejected it out of ignorance, out of that ain't what my grandmama taught me, or whatever dumb shit that you know they'll come with. You know, I can't be this because my
Ignorance. It's
grandmama.
ignorance, bro. It's only
Yeah,
ignorance. That's all. That's
I mean,
all. It's
even
just
that's ignorant.
ignorance.
I'm just saying that's ignorance too, though. Like,
Yeah,
man, my
it's just
grandma.
ignorance.
So, but I'm saying like that's typical. Like that's typical every day. But if you think
That's
about
hard
it,
to take though. I was just in like one of my aunties died, right? So I was in East Texas yesterday. So I'm in this old ass church watching these old ass pastors watching this old ass teaching, and these people in there hemming and the horn, they singing songs and shit. I tell my cousin, man, I said, man, why y'all didn't put the songs in the goddamn program? I don't know these goddamn songs. Y'all out here singing these goddamn songs. I don't know this shit. And I damn near fell asleep in the church because but the thing about it is, what are we in there talking about? That be my thing. I don't want to just hear no shit that make me feel good, bust a choir song and get the fuck on. We didn't do nothing. That didn't better you. You didn't concentrate on yourself. It wasn't no teaching to you. It wasn't like be kind to each other. Do this. These motherfuckers started hitting the Bible. Blah, 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 blah. And let's go to Isaiah and see God. And then, okay, let's get back over here. And then they turn the funeral into a come to God fucking session. And it's like, man, what is this? Is a funeral a remembrance of that person? What is this? Because if that's what this is, then let's do that. All that other shit talking about well, see, and God said, and people do you wrong, and they gossip and they behind your back, bro. That shit is something that's ingrained in us, and it's so fucking hard to shake. It's ridiculous, and I realized that just watching. I'm like, man, they could just sing a song, everybody bust out in the song. It's like ritual. It's like, bro, that shit is hard to shake, and it's because of our ignorance. It's ignorance and tradition, bro. That's just what it is. You ain't even got to go into nuance or none of that. Be
it's
honest.
like
That's what,
it's what I call
like you said, that's what it is.
it's it's
I
it's
think.
it's Wi-Fi slavery. That's what I call it. It's a new age of Wi-Fi slavery. Where you know the router is Christianity. Every drop of Christianity, the way it's taught. I'm not saying that it's not truth in Christianity. I'm not saying that you can't be made a better person, because I know you can. But the way that it's taught in these theological seminaries, every drop of that shit is slavery. Every drop of that, the way it's taught in the
Facts.
in the theological seminary, it's every drop of that shit is slavery. Every drop of it is slavery. And even the new and even the new style, it's a slave to materialism. Oh,
That
your
shit is
due season,
coonism. With a
your due
bunch of
season is
coonism.
coming. Your due
These
season is coming.
motherfuckers
You
jumping
feel
around
a harvest.
and
It's a
tapping.
harvest coming towards you. Say, man, you ain't
No,
finna get
no, no,
shit if
no,
you ain't
no,
working for it.
no. You
Wait,
know what that's called?
hold on, B. Go,
Oh,
go one at a time.
oh, my bad.
I was finna say that's the old guard is duck your head, shuck and jive slavery. The new shit, what I call the Wi-Fi slavery, is prosperity. Your due season is coming. You due for harvest. You gonna be say, man, you ain't finna get a goddamn thing. You gonna get up off your ass and go work. You ain't getting nothing. That harvest, you know what you got to do to reap a harvest? You got to plant the crop. You got to water the crop. You got to wait the crop. You got to plant it in the right time. You just don't get it because we using these words, don't even know what the hell these words be meaning. It's Wi-Fi slavery. Got you focusing on everything except what's gonna make you better, except what's gonna send your ass through the fire to become a better person. You can't become a better person by just wanting to be a better person. You gotta put in work, effort, hold yourself accountable. So it's we dealing to the point to where that's why I don't like to go to funerals today, because you either gonna get it's about three things you finna get. You finna get old folk to death. You finna get that old time religion shoved down your damn throat. Or niggas finna come with the new shit where niggas is pop locking, bringing crowns and shit to the full, invisible crown, setting it on all this other shit that ain't got nothing to do with a funeral. Or you finna get a nigga beg to see, he already paid his dues with the Lord. Do you got yours straight? Say, man, I just come to pay respects to my kinfolk, man. Please spare me. Spare me the sermon. Spare me the sermon. Like, come on, bro. What pop
And
locking
you
got to
wanna know
do with?
what's foul? And I'm gonna tell you what's foul as fuck, bro. I'm sitting there watching this preacher. I look up and I see the preacher. I'm like, damn, I know, dude. Oh, that's my kinfolk. Oh shit. Damn, I tell my uncle, I said, man, ain't that what's his name? He said, yeah. I said, man, I used to sell crack to him in the 90s, fool. He started laughing. He told, hey, yeah, boy, that motherfucker, we couldn't wait for that motherfucker to get out. Thought about that shit. I said, damn, is that foul that I'm thinking about that? Or is that foul that happened? But carry on.
Nah, people change.
I'm gonna say, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can use that. You can use that. You can use Christianity to change your life. Like, you can do it.
No, I know people change. That's why I was laughing, but I was still thinking to myself. You know, you still think to yourself, like, damn. That's like if motherfuckers see me, they'd be like, oh, that's B, man. We used to do this together. Look at him. That's like when Malcolm X saw Shorty. I mean, when Shorty saw
Yeah.
Malcolm X, he said, "Hey man, what kind of con? What? Come on, man, is you robbing the charity? Come on, man, tell me how you getting it, boy. Is this the long con? You trying to get him, ain't you?"
Ain't no con, brother. This is me. He said, ain't no con, brother.
He couldn't believe it. He like, man, you trying to get him? You finna hit their ass for the big one.
Yeah, just like the minister said, when you start doing, they don't ask you what's right with you. What's wrong with you, man? Man, we used to do that. I ain't into that no more, bro. What's wrong, man? What's wrong with you? What you mean, what's wrong with me, bro? Nah, but I'm just
I
like I'm
told,
saying.
I told you I don't want to do crime no more. And you asked me what's wrong with me.
What's wrong with
Damn,
me?
you changed like that? Damn. So you don't eat that no more now. You don't go there no more now. You don't do this now.
You say, man, what's
Damn, bro.
wrong
You
with
all
you,
right?
man?
You all right?
Yeah, nigga ask you what's wrong with you because you want to do right. That's a hell of a, and that's and to sum up what Behold was saying, that's ignorance. I'm gonna be real, that's a different type of ignorance. That's programmed ignorance. That's programmed ignorance. That's passed down ignorance. Some
That's
of
like
these
when
niggas,
people tell Reg. They say, Reg, you don't smoke or drink, you? No. Why not? You don't believe in no religion? No, it ain't religion. I just don't want to. Damn, what's wrong with you?
I remember one of the homies saying, "Man, you never been to juvie? Like, nigga, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nigga, you really believe that your right of passage through shit is to go face some incarceration. I'm like, nigga, you sound dumb as fuck. And that nigga had to reflect on that shit. And this
Well, you
same
know,
nigga who is my homie, who has never been able to guide himself through life without eventually graduating to the penitentiary. That's
so it's
how
like,
lost my
but,
niggas is.
but that's what I'm saying. Ignorance. I think we need to look. We need to look a little deeper, because I think most ignorant people produce ignorant children, unless it's divine intervention, unless some shit comes.
That's true.
Because ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So that shit might be hereditary at this point. What you see now, we might be for anybody to tell you. I don't think black folks finna snap out of the shit they in. I don't have hope for that. My thing is, I could just try to affect my circle and affect the people that come in contact with me. But as bro was saying, I ain't finna get down for no nigga that I don't. Who if you ass dealing in wrong, you ass wrong, bro. I'm not getting down for shit. You just wrong, nigga, and you finna suffer the consequences of being wrong. I was telling my partner, he was like, man, it's kind of messed up that black folks ain't coming to the defense of these poor Mexicans. I said, say, bro, how'd they get over here? It's still inhumane. I said, say, bro, whenever you get in whenever they stack you in a barrel on top of another barrel and you in a truck sneaking over here, I said, we got this game. We got this saying called, you get it how you live, bro. If you came over here the wrong way and they scoop you up, you just now getting a taste of what the white man do to you when he catch your ass doing wrong. He goes overboard. This historically what the fuck he do. I said, is it messed up? Yeah, but you got caught broken. They got caught breaking the law, bro. I said, when my partner went to jail, I didn't say free him. That nigga did things that say, man, you get caught, you going to jail. Ain't nobody stand out the court, free him. No, man, do your time. And I'll be here when you get out.
Real shit.
You do your I say, hey man, is it foul how they setting traps for them? You must don't know. You didn't do your history on the white man, bro. You didn't do your history on him. You can't just sit up and call him a gringo and all that shit and don't think he got something waiting for your ass. Oh, he got something waiting for you, bro. Historically, just do your Googles on them. Do your Googles on this government. They do all the foulest shit. Do your Googles
Oh, they
on
learning
ICE.
now. They think they could throw bottles at ice and spit on them and think, yeah,
Hell
yeah,
no,
throw a bottle at them. Spit on them. Yeah, do it. Spit on them. Throw a bottle at them.
Hey man, that ain't what you want. They don't understand. ICE is registered over there in Israel, man. These ain't just no anybody's. These ain't just no anybody dudes, man. Like they get trained, like some of them get probably trained by the IDF. Like these ain't just no anybody dudes. You know what I'm saying? So now, hey man, that's what they do. When they catch you breaking the law, they go overboard. I told my Mexican partner at work, hey man, that's what they do. They catch you, they go overboard, bro. I could have told you that, man. You can't be record just because you think you're recording. It's not gonna save you, man. These dudes you dealing with devils, bro. I said, you read the Bible, don't you? He said, yeah. I said, you believe it? I said, you in the cage of every foul. What it say that the cage of every foul devil or the I can't think of the right now, but I said you did this what you dealing with, man. You dealing with devilishness at its highest height. You can't, and I said, you can't think you can just stand up to them and do what you want to do. I said, nah, man, it don't work like that, bro. Well, if that's the stance y'all gonna take, be ready to die. I respect it. If that's the stance you're gonna take, just be ready.
After they die, you'll respect it.
No, I'm just saying,
Like
if that's the stance,
what you say, bro? They gave their life. I respect that.
hey, I got to. Hey man, they wasn't hearing that shit. They said shit, somebody gonna go.
I can respect that.
I can respect it,
Reggie
bro.
Reggie was on the front line, man. I can respect Reggie out there on the front lines like that while I'm in the tent being a general. I can respect that. Go ahead. Somebody put his star on the wall.
I mean, hey, if they say, man, we're going out there to prove a point tomorrow. We If we die, we die, but we standing on it. And they go out there and they fight, and they, you know what I'm saying, they take some and they die. I don't have no choice but to respect it. Say, man, that dude said he was gonna do that. I
You
respect
first, Red. I just want to say, Red, you
it.
first, then me. Then Red, then me.
Oh, Mexicans first. This they fight. Shit.
Oh, no. Now you switch it up. Now you ain't down with ice no more. I mean,
I
now you
never
down with.
been down with ICE, but you don't see
I
me
mean
out
that.
there protesting. You don't see me out there
No,
protesting.
so I saw you at the Kamala rally though.
That's because I'm politically involved. I'm politically engaged and shit.
That's
Nah,
true.
but,
I'll give you that.
nah, but yeah, this is man, this is America. Like and I'm gonna tell you who else getting. I'm gonna tell you who else getting a little news flash. These new young black people. I don't know what the hell made them think that white folks done changed, or the as soon as you start dealing in seriousness with white issues, that they're not gonna bring up the stereotypical black thing. Oh man, you monkey. Hey, bro, this how it go. I had to tell my homegirl that ain't right. I said, man, where the hell you been? I said, you better gain some intellect and know how to come back. You better understand you gotta understand people's origin in the world. You better do some research on people's origin in this world. You can flip that monkey shit right on his goddamn head.
Exactly.
You can flip that shit on his head if I said if you actually knows people origin in this world and where monkeys come from, you can flip that shit directly on his head. And that shit'd be a taboo moot point going forward. I was like, see, you better learn something besides what the fuck Cardi B dumbass talking about. And Stephon Diggs and all, man, damn all them folks. Them people wrapped up in the reality that ain't got shit to do with you, but you worried about what they got going on.
Fact.
That's what I'm saying. How you worried about Cardi B and Offset? Man, fuck both of them. Care about them. Like two of the most ignorant niggas I've never seen in my life. I'm worried about them. Yeah, now
And you,
get them both out my goddamn face.
you know what's the other crazy shit that you bringing them up is I look at some shit they treating that bitch, the other one who done rose to stardom amongst the degeneracy and the amongst our people is Glorilla retarded ass sister. Motherfuckers running up on this chick like she's somebody fucking important to an uplift of anything. Like, he's one of the most ignorant motherfuckers, and what they display is a common situation within the fucking community of some degenerate ass shit.
Hey man, like I said, bro. At the end of the day, we got our those of us who want to see black people right this shit. Well, we got a hell of a task on our hands because our our youth actually believe that it's longevity in that type of life. We were coming up, we did too till niggas start dropping like flies around us, and we was like, hold on now. Fuck this. We had you know what I'm saying? We a light, but hold on, man. This ain't hell no. Like I knew this certain shit I just wasn't gonna do coming up. Just cause I had a daddy, bro. I just wasn't gonna do. Yo, we gonna break in that nigga house. Who? We know, nigga, you breaking in his house, nigga. I draw the line at stealing from people. Hell no, man. I work for this shit I got. So you mean to tell me your dad? No, my daddy didn't buy these Jordans. I bought these Jordans. Hell no, I ain't. I draw the line. But like I said, that's because I had structure in my household. I grew up with structure. And I'm not saying there wasn't no dysfunction amongst that structure, because it was a lot of dysfunction. But the dysfunction didn't cloud my mind or pollute my mind to know what structure is and how much I needed it. Because I could just look at my cousins. Whereas my daddy bought me a PlayStation for Christmas. His dad bought him a PlayStation for Christmas, but broke in the house and stole that motherfucker from him. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember I was going over his house. Hey, bro, we're gonna play the game. He said, you're gonna have to bring your PlayStation. I said, man, did Uncle Joe just buy your play? Yeah, but he broke in and stole
Stop
it.
naming names, Tucker. You always naming names,
Man,
telling
let
these
them
fucked up stories, man.
they gonna look up and find my Uncle Joe. They don't even know where the hell he gonna. I don't
But
know
then
where the
Tucker
hell my
always
Uncle
be
Joe
telling
at.
this story, man. Don't be telling this story, man.
You look
Stop
here.
telling this story.
If they find my Uncle Joe, they need to tell me shit. 'Cause I don't know where he at.
See how you do? You see how you do? You see how you do?
You just got through telling the story. Ain't that so? Then I used to, brother. You just trust me. My story is a lot safer than the story you just told, brother. You had somebody at home going talking about shit you did while you was in the mental grade. I'm
Hey,
talking
bro,
about
that's
my.
fucked up too.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, that's how I know I'm fucked up, bro. I was like, man, this is fucked up. This ain't right, man. I started feeling fucked up too. I had to tell somebody, hey, man, ain't that fucked up?
Nah, yeah, but yeah, man, like, don't get me wrong, Reg. We definitely, I will say today, our biggest problem today is our degeneracy. You right on that, but integration played a part in that.
Yeah,
And,
I'll say the government, man. The government interference.
I
Because
think
but
so.
who you think came up
I
with
think so.
integration though? The government came up with integration. They came up with that shit.
no, I don't think they want blacks moving into these communities. They rather kept blacks where they were and keep
I
blacks
think
down.
so too.
Blacks
I
found
think
their
so
way
too.
up.
Nah,
They said the integration. They said the integration in the civil rights was a byproduct of the Cold War. They said that Russia was using, which they was using black people as propagandists and telling us, "Oh, black comrade, we treat you better. Y'all should be treated better." So they said the rest of the world was looking at the United States saying, "How the fuck y'all trying to push democracy and say that y'all better than communism, but y'all mistreat the people who are there, y'all minority people, the black people though." So they said,
Right.
"Okay, as a PR campaign, I'm just telling you what I read and the CIA, all this bullshit." So as a PR campaign, so let's get these people civil rights and let's make ourselves look better on the world so that communism won't spread and we can push this democracy shit. So that's what they did.
Because even in the war, the Viet Cong would tell black people that shit. What you
Yeah,
doing
it's
here?
like
Not your fight.
same. What you fighting with them for, nigga? Same. They ain't your brother. But yeah, I mean, we know that, but I'm saying that's why I feel as though because they did that, they also went further to eliminate our paths to resources also.
Because if blacks could have like you were saying, I think what was you saying earlier? Like if it's really separate equal, then make the shit equal. Give us ours.
Well,
Provide
no,
us
they
with
That's
it.
what
couldn't.
I
They
think.
couldn't do
That's what
that.
I
They
think.
couldn't. Well,
That's what I think. I've
that's what the
always
whole
said that
40
if
acres and that's what the whole 40 acres and the mule shit was about anyway. Because in the Lincoln Douglas debates, Lincoln didn't give a damn about black people. He really wanted to say, man, y'all just take y'all shit and go on, man. Move, go on. And honestly, we'd have been better for it. Look at this. All you gotta do is look at it. When the agents come here, who the agents give a
nah,
damn?
brother, what would have happened if without the United States helping black people resettle, most black people would have died out. Where the fuck they would have put us? The reason that they let us go and they turned us loose, most of us, they thought you could read in the history book. When they turned us loose, they thought most of us was gonna die out. They thought that that's why at first in Congress they went in enacting laws and they was letting us.
Or your phone died. You still there, Brandon? Your signal went out. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Megzart.
Well, I'm trying to think of what happened. What is it called? The 3/5 compromise. What is that called? I can't think of when it was
That's
called.
what it's called. It's
It's
called
called
three
a three.
fifths. What they call?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's back when they eventually passed the law to take our shit back from us.
No. No, the three-fifths compromise was when they was trying to settle congressional representatives and they wanted to know how to count black people in the tent. So what they did was they counted black people three-fifths of a human being.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of what it's I was just researching it earlier. Oh, she going hard in that. Oh.
Oh, that's a baby girl. Oh, go ahead. Hey, Brandon, you had broke up earlier when you was cooking on that one point.
Oh, can you hear me now? No, I was just saying that they
Yeah.
eventually when they let black people go, they just let us go, like turn us loose. Most of the time they thought that when they looked at it, they did a study and they thought the black people was gonna die out at the community. They didn't realize that we were still gonna be here. And they was like, man, these people gonna be out. They're gonna die out. They don't have nothing. They don't know nothing. They can't read, they can't write, they don't know shit. They thought we was gonna die out, but what we ended up doing was unifying. We ended up going to look for each other and going to be around each other. We was not trying to necessarily be around them. The reason we not, to be honest, we not necessarily trying to be
And we
around them
still don't. We
today.
still don't try to be around them.
I was just gonna say that the only reason we because they got the fucking resources. If we otherwise, these people would not see us. Like even right now, man, you think I see the white people I work with around my neighborhood and we go in the same stores and shit? You think that? I don't. I ain't never seen not one motherfucker I've ever worked with in no store around where I live. We don't go to the same area the same. We have to be out to like a major. They got to be like at a basketball game or a boxing event. Some shit. But I don't see these damn people, and they not looking to see me. We live two totally way different cultural lifestyles. These people, it ain't
Right.
trying to necessarily intermingle like that. Unless they trying to draw you in some what they doing. Hey, you want to come over here? No, I don't want to come over there. You want to hang out with us? No, I don't. We finna go out to the woods, to the cabins. I'm cool.
Yeah,
Like,
facts. Like we don't go seeking each other. Even like when you look at it, as if we integrate in schools, if black people go into these integrated white schools and it's predominantly that, usually blacks tend to hang with each other. That was like my first experience in we moved to Evanston and going to school in the white school. When it came time to where the school breaks out in the lunch and all that recess, everybody goes into their own groups. Nobody segregated us, divided us. We naturally went with our own groups. Who we relate to, who we speak alike, what we find in common with one another. You may get blacks that branch off to that. You may get whites that branch off with blacks. But outside of that, we ain't looking for each other or trying to be with each other.
Yeah,
And
no,
integration
that's
wasn't about that.
yeah. I mean, here at the school I went to in the 2000s, black folks don't look at it was a Mexican side, it was a black side. Now it was sprinkled in. There's a couple Mexicans on the black side because they prefer it. Couple blacks sprinkled in on the Mexican side. The majority though is 97.3%. 97% to 3%. It's 97% Mexican over here, 3% other, 97% black over here, 3% other. And when nobody and it didn't have nothing to do with us not liking them. It's just that's a natural thing. That's a natural thing.
Yeah, you go with who you share a common
Yeah, that you got to come and then check this out. On the black side, all of us ain't in no big ass huddle together. The people that's with you, that's your partners, y'all over here in this corner, and it's some in the you know what I'm saying? Like it's even when amongst black people, we ain't all just one big what's the new saying, we wasn't no big ass monolith on that side.
right.
You got 20 of us over here. Cause we from this place and we do this and that. These dudes from over there, and then you got the dudes that ain't on none of that shit. You know, they over here, and you got the dudes that hoop. We together. The dudes that rap. It's a you know what I'm saying? Like so, it's just. I mean, it is what it is. Like even when Nana say it's all black folks in the community. Everybody in the community ain't with each other. Now, say if you in a little small apartments, everybody in them apartments looking out for each other. That's how it used to be. But yeah, no, we just like I said, I'm gonna tell you what's done pulled every person that has came over here away from the social norms of their culture is the rugged American way of rugged individualism and capitalism. If your ass done drunk, if you done drunk from that well, it done contaminated your cultural principles.
Facts.
So yeah, I know Mexicans that's high and mighty, and they look down, and they voted for Trump. Yeah, man, they don't need to be. I'm like, hold on, bro. I just don't have the greatest community. I don't have the greatest relationship with my African community abroad. But what type of nigga am I to be like, they need to, like, come on, bro, that's foul. That's foul. And the reason why there's a disconnect on our part, because they don't know nothing about us. They have we know more about Africa than what they know about our struggle in America. Like
I don't know about that. I think I'm pretty ignorant of Africa. When I saw I Show Speed over there, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty ignorant. I'm pretty ignorant. But what I did appreciate, I appreciated that old boy had more than one wife, and that he had girlfriends too. I like that. And he said, well, who controls the women? He said, my mama. I was like, oh shit, so your mama running it? He's like, yeah, they got to listen to
that bullshit.
I was like, that's clear. That's because you ain't never experienced it, bro. That's because you don't know good living. But go ahead.
No, that sounds
what
like
up, dude?
But what I'm saying is we have
my nigga.
What's up with Islam? You good, brother?
Man, out the way, man. Trying to be like you.
I'm definitely out the way. Finna be off this motherfucker too. I gotta get ready for work in the morning.
right. I feel it.
Shit,
I don't know if I'm going.
What, you done got sick or something?
That nigga got lazy. That nigga lazy.
I got some training to do, and I don't know if the Wi-Fi set up yet, so I'm probably just gonna hang around the house and take care of the training.
You get to stay at home and do this shit?
Man, shut up, man.
Driving in and shit. This nigga.
I'm a janitor, man.
One thing a janitor don't need to work is to go to work is Wi-Fi, unless you got a Wi-Fi mop.
That's what I got, bro. I got a Wi-Fi mop.
Made this nigga lazy, man.
He said, I know y'all talking about the white man, but she ain't too bad for me.
I gotta hit my I'm finna hit my supervisor in the morning and be like, hey, you ain't finna see me this morning. I got a few trainings I gotta take care of. I got some specialized trainings that I gotta do. So I won't be there. And if you do need me, if I got I'm gonna be there after my training, but I gotta knock these out though. So I ain't gonna be there.
And then we gonna end this one in a minute so we can do that All-Star game one.
I know that's what Deuce want to do. I know Deuce ready to crank up.
I didn't even, man. I didn't watch none of the All-Star. Nothing. I didn't watch it,
man. You should have watched it, bro. Them niggas out there going for it. Kawhi Leonard out there showing the whole tools.
They was
the tool belt, man. I'm telling the niggas, bro. He's showing everybody who was the best. LeBron was showing up too, though. But yeah, we don't want to.
I heard Anthony Edwards won the MVP though.
That dude was doing this thing. That dude was doing this shit. Wemby too. Wemby
was going off. I think if Luka was in that game, Luka would have had to come on with it. I think Luka would have came on with it. He would have played hard.
Abused Luka the way they was playing. That's why they set his ass down. Oh, he got a hamstring injury. Them niggas was going.
And they was playing hard and defense too.
Luka done already gained 15 goddamn pounds from the city loss.
I was telling niggas that was Ozempic. You can tell it was Ozempic because he didn't have any muscle definition. That shit was all just like, oh, I lost weight. He didn't have any muscle definition.
Man, LeBron finna go back to Cleveland, man. That's all I want to see. I want to see him in Cleveland.
The fuck if he is. James Harden ain't going for that, especially if they make a deep run.
What you mean? James Harden and Donovan Mitchell was already telling him to come. What you talking about?
I hope they don't camera. I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't want to see that. He don't need that. I mean, they don't need him. They don't need him.
They not finna
win. He needs to retire, if you ask me.
Man, me too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They finna go deep in the playoff. If one of them don't get hurt,
man, look here. You know who on that team?
Rodney, they got 20 games.
You know who on that team, man? Who nut up in every big situation he done ever been in his career? James
But
Harden.
that's not true.
You
That's a
crazy as
media
hell.
narrative. That's a media
I
narrative.
know,
That's
and
not
I've
true.
watched him. I've watched
No,
him. Name me a game
nah.
7 he done came through. Name me one.
Well, how many has he been in?
He's been in 4 of them.
He's been
He
in
never
7.
came through.
He's been in 7. He's 3 or 4. That's a media narrative. James Harden gonna show up, and he ain't got to carry the load out there.
Oh shit, Deuce, you know you done stepped in it when you talked about James Harden. Deuce
Look
finna
here.
defend James Harden.
When he was in the Western Conference Finals, what he do in the game 7 against?
What did his team do in the game 7?
No, what he do? He the leader. What he do? He's the leader.
Well, you know, they were playing a boxing one on him, open daring those guys to shoot open threes. They missed 21 straight.
So can I ask you a question? So you gotta shoot a 3? You can't go shoot a mid-range?
No, that was them. It wasn't him missing 21 threes. It was them. They're playing a boxing one on his ass.
No, what it's called is when you're a creation of a when you're offensive, when you thrive in a particular offense, when they stop that offense and you act like you can't do shit else but that offense, ain't no excuse for. I'm gonna tell you what happened. Chris Paul got hurt. That's what happened.
No, what happened was they went against a super team.
No,
But,
what?
You know,
I'm gonna be real with you. When Chris Paul was healthy, when Chris Paul was healthy in the West Conference Finals, shit, they won because of him. They didn't win because of Devin Booker. They won because of Chris Paul.
Man, they won because Kawhi Leonard wasn't there. That's why they won. But we want to see, you know what I mean? And they won also because the referee was jobbing us. But we don't want to go back to that Phoenix series.
Hey man, all I know is Chris Paul put up the most points of an old nigga.
Man, that nigga he was hitting them lucky 3-pointers. But before that,
but I do think, but Rodney, I do think that that Cleveland is finna go deep in the playoffs, and then LeBron gonna be a man without a home. You think he going back to Cleveland? I promise you, if they go deep in the playoffs, I think they're gonna face the Knicks, and I think they're gonna beat the Knicks. Me personally, I think they going to the finals. I just
they won't beat the Celtics. What you talking? They won't beat the Celtics,
bro. You can't stop these guys, bro, because because James Harden.
Neither one of them. Hey, Donovan. Neither one of them niggas you talking about play defense.
Donovan Mitchell can score his ass off though, and ain't got to carry the load. That nigga scoring 40, 50 points in the game by himself. Evan Mobley gonna be there.
Evan Mobley been a ghost this. Evan Mobley been a ghost this season. He's been a shell of himself this season.
He been hurt this season.
That whole team been hurt this year.
I don't know, and
besides Donovan Mitchell,
still got him there. That's why he wouldn't got Uno. Uno finna do his thing out there, bro.
Man,
he already been doing his thing.
I believe it when I see. I believe it when I do it when it count.
We'll see.
Do it when it count. But I know. Celtics number 2 in the East without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, they catch and shoot. They been scoring. A lot of guys been scoring over there. But in the playoffs, that shit gonna slow down. JB balling though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say JB. I'm telling everybody, JB is the better. Don't get me wrong, Tatum can score better, but JB's the better player out of them because he played both sides of the ball.
Play both sides of the ball, and he drive too.
Even though he got a airbrush haircut, he's still hooping.
And that handle too loose. Bro, JB problem is handle.
You know us bald head dudes be watching that type of shit. We be hoping that shit work. Like we can get a little comeback going. Every time that shit fail, we be hurt. Like when Big Baby his little hair unit came out, I was like, oh man, that's fucked up. They ain't got nothing out here we can fake it till we make it with. This some bullshit.
You definitely. I mean, ain't none of y'all finna be getting hit by no heavyweight boxing 12 rounds. You definitely can get that.
Nah, bro.
Once old boy seen that shit, he was targeting for that motherfucker.
He started targeting. He exerted all his energy knocking that shit off and then lost.
He socking his nigga right in the forehead. No body shots, nothing.
Big Baby.
Once he seen that shit, but no, Cleveland look good though, bro. I think so. They like the best in the East to me. New York ain't shit.
No, New York ain't nothing. They do. No, New York. New York should have did whatever they needed to do to get Giannis. They should have did it.
Nah, Giannis didn't want to go. Giannis, he ain't all that. His game is diminished.
No, man, Giannis. What it is, Giannis. No, he can't.
Man,
The thing is when that's the only thing you got, it's not gonna work. Like what else he got? He ain't got nothing else on the team.
He needs to go get a team jumper. He need to go see
he should
our
have been working.
team.
He
That's
should have
what he
been
needs to
working on
go
his
do.
handle. He should have been
No,
working on his handle, and he should
I'm
have
gonna
been
tell you
working
what
on
his
that wop.
no his big. I'm gonna tell you what his big ass should have been. His big ass. He should have been putting on some muscle to play in the post to extend his career.
He ain't
Because
got no touch. That's why he ain't working on. That's why he can't dribble and shoot because he ain't got no touch.
but
Yeah,
he
yeah,
don't need
that's
no
right.
around
Shaq.
the
Right.
basket. He long enough. He long enough to
Yeah.
maneuver around that basket. So he should have.
Now when niggas is bumping him, that nigga is 6'9" Shaq.
Especially
Nah,
like
man,
Wimby,
that nigga six. Man,
Wimby
that nigga
is beautiful.
really 6'11", bro.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. But
Well, I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. He should
I
have put
want to
on
see the
some muscle.
Spurs. I think he did put on muscle. I think Wimby wanna win, bro. I think he low key won a championship.
Man,
he
I'll be
won
real with
already.
you. I'm be real with you. I'm be in the next year or two. They can get ready to trade Fox because Harper ready.
Yeah, they
Dylan
got Fox on
Harper.
the low.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I ain't taking nothing from Fox because Fox hooping. But them young niggas over there
Yeah.
for the Spurs,
Win this,
shit.
but they
They're gonna be trying. They
win.
better
You
be
can
trying to
say
trade
they getting
Wimby.
I
ready.
told Deuce they gonna win the damn finals.
They
Watch.
be
They
now they
getting
depend
ready
on
to
that nigga.
win. It might be.
Man,
They
Oh,
you
you
breaking
breaking
up,
up
bro.
bad, Brady.
I
You
was gonna
breaking up
say you
bad.
sound like Future.
I'm telling you, Reggie easily impressed. That nigga Wimby ain't shit, bro.
That nigga Wimby
Wimby can
balling.
hoop, bro.
You
I
Wimby
don't
saw
can
him
think he
hoop,
can hoop.
balling.
bro.
I
You
think he's
saw him
tall.
balling in that All-Star game.
Hey,
Nah,
bro,
nigga, you think
bro,
he got clamped?
Nah, bro, Wimby can hoop, bro. Like
Nah,
Wimby is Porzingis without the injuries, bro. Like Wimby
no,
can hoop,
nah.
bro.
Porzingis move way better than Wimby.
Hell,
No, he
I've
don't,
seen
bro.
Porzingis
you
move
are
way
a
better than Wimby.
fucking hater, dude.
Nah, bro. I would say
I'm
this:
not being a hater,
Porzingis.
bro. I don't
No, Porzingis when he was healthy, he's fast. Porzingis was faster than,
faster, better
but he
jump
couldn't dribble.
shot,
He
better
couldn't dribble
handle.
better. No, he couldn't dribble better. No, he
Wimby
couldn't.
can't even dribble, bro.
He
Nah,
not
Wimby
Wimby.
was there
faster.
with
He not faster than Wimby. He not faster than Wimby.
he
He
was
not.
faster than
Yes, he was.
Wimby.
No, young
He was
KP definitely was faster than Wimby.
yeah, he was
Wimby.
definitely
I
faster than
don't think so.
Wimby.
I
Shit,
don't
no,
His
I
think
jump shot
so.
know
was
so. No, I
wetter
know
too.
so.
His jump shot was wetter. Wimby's like he don't move. He moves
Oh,
like a
I'm about to
fucking
say,
stick
let's end
man.
this one and do the
Well,
All-Star
go
game.
right into it, fool. Well, go right
All
into it.
right.
Don't think you do
Yeah.
what you do. Go
Hold
right
on, I'm about to send
into it.
y'all the link. Hold on. I'm gonna send y'all a
You know
link.
how
Go
we
ahead.
do it. You know how we do it. Yeah,
No,
but I just think Wimby, I could just tell once he pack on this muscle, I think in the next 2 years you finna see them make some noise.
he ain't,
You can
bro.
just
He
see it.
ain't gonna pass. That's
He
his
wanna
natural frame.
win.
He ain't
I
packing
just
up no
think he wanna
muscle. That's his.
win.
He about
Yeah,
to win this year, and
yeah,
dude's about to
right.
be mad.
Yeah, right. If
Even
he
in
go
the
out,
Who number
All-Star
one in the
game,
West?
that nigga showed that shit in the All-Star game tonight.
He did. He did. He
That
wanted to
nigga,
win.
that shit serious. Even Anthony Edwards said that
He
shit.
did. He
yeah, he
did.
took it
I
serious. That's
saw
what
him in
turned niggas up.
even in
But that don't
Olympic.
mean
Anthony Edwards
Even
said
in Go
Wemby
ahead.
set the tone to that All-Star game. That's what made them niggas play hard.
He
he did
did.
say
He
that.
did.
But he wasn't
And
out there
dude's finna
clowning
hate.
niggas, bro. I see Scotty Barnes lock him up. The
But
KD
he
took
was
him
out
to
there
the
playing
rack.
hard though. He set the tone like I want to win. Like
Man, truth be told, they played
Here go
like
the
hard
link.
last year.
Here go the
Truth
link
be,
for y'all.
they played
okay.
hard last year.
Deuce in the Olympics. Do you know that when he wanted to win, he cried. He was trying to beat the
Yeah,
team. He wanted to win.
I know that's cool. That's good, but he
He
ain't got
said
the
that's cool. This nigga a hater, man. God.
he ain't got the will or the skill. That's all it is.
You gonna be a mad motherfucker when they make the finals. You gonna be pissed off when you see them fools in the finals. And then, hey, here in the chat, this is the link. We about to start our new stream for the we live right now. We going right on this link right here to the All-Star game live stream we on.
Hey, I'm
This,
getting a double, bro. You gotta close the other one. I'm getting a double.
yeah, I'm about to close it right now. All right, folks, click that link right there in the chat. We going over to the other live stream here on this channel. We still live on this channel. The link right there in the chat. And then the link in the private chat for y'all, Deuce, and for you, Megazar and B Dub. Oh wait, B Dub already over here. Megazar, the link in the private chat. All right,
I'm
chat.
getting a double.
Yeah, I'm about to end it. Let me make sure I end the right
Okay.
one. Here we go. All right, go ahead, cut.